This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Now, before going forward, let's discuss about few things, and after that we will go. Okay, my bad. My name is Ajay Rudra. Okay, Ajay Rudra. So I've been working in this VLSI industry from a long time, and I have done multiple projects from synthesis to post layout STA. So in which I think I might be able to help you all your kind of your questions. And also I can give you a brief, very brief view of what is exactly we are going to be doing in this domain, VLSI domain, and different concepts, different flows. Each company has their own flow and everything. So most probably the main concept is only one flow. But according to the industrial standards, they have their own internal automation. Okay, so in which our major role will be analyzation. So for that analyzation, what all required concepts and theoretical and practical based is what we will be discussing in this particular full curriculum. Okay, now before going forward into let's say like exact brief of what we are going to be discussing. First question: how many of you have opted into VLSI physical design by yourself or experience? Let's make it like how many of you are experienced? Is everyone a fresher?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then no issues. Then we can be able to go with a good flow itself. Because when we go, let's say like experience level, there will be little bit of some terminologies getting popped up, but right now I'll get in control of that and I'll explain what all required. We'll go with each and everything. So first step, uh, all are recently passed out or anyone is older?
Present final year, sir.
I
Sir,
am
I'm tech
20.
final
Very
year.
good time.
Finally, yes, sir.
I'm tech final year, sir.
Superb.
2019 pass out, sir.
2016
So
pass out, sir.
2020.
MTech.
2019 first.
Nice,
BTech.
nice.
MTech, sir.
Okay,
Working in software.
so okay,
Working in software.
great. Okay then. So I can see that most of you are in a final year and most of you are 2019 passed out and 2016 MTech passed outs and 2018, 16 to 19 BTech passed outs. So which impacts is like a very good timing. But I'm not frightening you, but I'm telling you the fact. Though whatever the age difference we have, the only criteria we have here is like you have to learn. Okay, the only thing is only when you brush up things you can be able to fix multiple things. So if not, what happens is like we will be teaching and you might not be able, if you're not working it on it, then you might be in a little bit of trouble. So though how good we teach or how good you practice, there will be always ups and downs. I think so for those who are right now working, they will be having an ideology. Though they are working in the same domain, sometimes what happens is there will be some ups and downs. That's why we always, so how many experience we are, we should always be keep on working or learning new concepts, new things. Then only your profile gets weighted and you will get more jobs. Okay, so I think so basic way of introduction is done because we have a long time to go. So we can be slowly introducing ourselves when required. Okay, but main concept here is ask multiple questions. Though how basic it is or how uh, wrong it might be, but the only agenda is like ask questions. Only then we can be able to learn a lot. Okay, my saying is like always, whatever the small thing it is, ask questions. Now, coming back. So what made you now in VLSI industry? Okay, I'll just go through this particular flow and you would have done some analysis by yourself. The why you wanted PD, why you wanted to enter into PD, or let's say like why you want to enter into VLSI domain. Do anyone have passion on chips, or frank answer is like money? Which one is it?
Both, sir.
We want to enter into the core field,
Right,
electronics.
nice. Okay, like to use EDA tool. Okay, so when you're telling EDA tools, there are different types of EDA tools. And now coming back to this particular less coding. Okay, I'm not frightening. We'll go through that flow and let's see discussion on that more. Okay, now VLSI. So frankly to say, when I initially started my career, I said directly that I came here for money only. Okay, later on there was a small passion for me that is like my hardcore. I want to work in a core industry only. So each and industry I worked is like only a core industry from a very basic to an now which I'm standing is always a core industry. Okay, so now VLSI. So when before going into VLSI, what is IC?
Integrated circuit.
That is full form of it.
Sir, more number of mass transistors can be fabricated on a single IC chip, sir.
Right. In a small area, a bigger circuit implementation. The same explanation, but I have modified here. More number of transistor in an area, and we can also change it like more number of transistors into a smaller area, or in a smaller area a bigger circuit implementation. So why IC? Why the development of IC came into picture? From the definition
Because
of
it is
IC
the
itself you have
smallest
the answer.
unit.
Go
Because
ahead.
it is the smallest unit that can be placed in any component, and it will help in the working of any complex operations easily.
Okay, so I will modify your statement as well. So IC, or let's say like a normal transistor, is going to be helping me to work in a complex circuits and all. But what is the advantage here is like, as the development of ICs came, the let's say like the block size, or let's say like the monitor size, or let's say like the CPU size, or the RAM size, all became to be smaller, easily compatible. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Because that is the main advantage, right? So even when we are using a phone compared to landline to nowadays, the landline itself, if you compare, it has become very, very small, right? Similarly, phones, but when you are using hand phones, that is like cell phones, what happens indirectly, or increasing the area of that particular phone. There is a reason of it. Okay, for every phone which the screen resolution is getting increased, or let's say like the screen size is getting increased, or phone size is getting increased, there are multiple reasons of it. According to the internal circuits, there will be different advantages, okay, disadvantages, and to cover them, the phone size got increased, bigger circuits in smaller area. Now let's select to reduce the, as I said, right, from the definition itself we can tell why IC, to reduce the area of the circuit and make it easy compatible. So yeah, any questions? Okay, so now moving forward, when we are talking about IC, okay, when we are talking about IC, what exactly, how the development of ICs came into picture? How the development of IC came into picture. So when we are telling development, always it will be small, starting with a small circuits, small circuit implementation to a particular IC. Next, advanced, more number of gates, again more number of gates. So as the number of transistors increase, the naming of that particular IC implementation also got changed. Am I right? IC implementation was started with respect to SSI. How many of you heard these terms? SSI, MSI, LSI?
Small scale integration, medium scale integration, large scale integration.
Large scale integration,
Correct.
very large scale integration, super large scale integration.
I think so. It's GSI, greater scale integration, greater large scale integration. Okay, so when you are telling about SSI, okay, for those who are not familiarized, or let's make it like a brush up kind of criteria. SSI means small scale integration. So in which they have started with respect to
Number of
how
logic
many
gates, sir.
transistors? Yeah, it's like basic logic gates in which it will be having around like 10 to 100 of transistors available in that particular circuit. Okay, in this particular circuit, 10 to 100 transistors is present. And yes, examples are basic gates. So when we are telling about basic gates, what are the basic gates available or known?
And the gate, net,
AND
gate
gate,
and not gate.
OR gate, XOR
And
gate.
or NAND, correct. Okay, so all this particular gates implementation can be implemented using this particular SSI terminology. Okay, or let's say like it will be coming under this SSI. So now MSI means
Medium scale integration.
medium scale integration. In the starting, it will be little of bored because we are kind of brushing up things, and when we get into VLSI flow, you might get some more new things. Okay, and coming to this particular part, here it will be having 100 to thousands of transistors. And the example are counters, multipliers, registers. All this will be coming into this particular MSI terminology. Okay, now coming to this LSI, again it will be an increase the count. That is, did I miss anything here? 1000 to 10,000 transistors. Okay, and the examples are, what are the bigger circuits which will be having? Processors,
Microprocessor.
right? So let's make it like 8-bit processors. Now next is VLSI. That is around 10,000 to 1 lakh.
Very large.
Yeah, very large scale integration. Oh, I forgot to write the terms here. Large scale, very large scale. Okay, so what will be the examples of this? Compared to large scale, what are the bigger circuits of large scale? The implementation of all this will be coming into the term of very large scale. That is like some sensors. Okay, sorry, 16-bit and 32-bit processors, which will be having more logics implemented. You will be terming it as very large scale implementation. Okay, so later on there will be multiple technologies coming into picture. So like one of our friends said, ULSI, GSI, and also multiple, based on that number of transistors, this number of scaling of transistors into a smaller area is getting increased. Okay, ULSI means ultra large scale, GSI means greater or giant large scale integration. So it doesn't stop, it keeps on implementing. So as the smaller area we require, the transistors implementation are getting increased, and your technology node, everything gets implemented. Okay, so I won't give more on this particular basic part. This is a very basic kind of scenario. Okay, because what we are going here is like an overview of all that particular VLSI related terminologies, or let's say like flow. Okay, VLSI flow, and later on you will be having some basic sessions on this particular analog and digital perspective, where you will be getting all the information about manufacturing, how the manufacturing of transistor, manufacturing of IC, okay, resistors, capacitors, transistors, all that will be like a revised concepts for you again. CMOS manufacturing, all that will be revised again. But right now I'll just go through an overview of full what we are going to do in this particular curriculum, and what is the VLSI flows. Okay, so this is a very basic. Now let's go into exact VLSI flow. So when we are talking about VLSI, yeah, any questions?
Yes, sir, I have one question.
Go ahead.
Sir, there is also GSI, sir.
Right.
So why we call GSI instead of VLSI?
So
Will
there
not
are
call
terms of,
SSI, LSI?
here we have two more terms, ULSI and GSI. ULSI means
Audible?
ultra. Yeah, voice is breaking.
Now am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, there is ULSI, sir, GSI. Then why VLSI is so popular? Why don't we call ULSI industry or GSI industry?
Transistor sizing, complexity. See, most common terms is like, see, SSI is also a terminology. MSI
Yeah.
is also a terminology. But the we, or let's say like the IC got more popularized when the VLSI got into picture.
Oh, that's why we call this name, sir.
Yeah, that is the reason. So as it got popped up more in VLSI standard, so we started telling that VLSI flow or SOC flow or uh, like that different flows naming, just a naming change.
Okay.
But when you come to this particular industry, we'll, let's say like we will design only a block, but you will not be, let's say like, and you will be getting a name called as technology node, and you will be getting some block design name. Only that particular design you're going to be implementing it physically, let's say like virtually physically, CAD kind of perspective. Okay, or easy to say, how many of you have an idea about PCB designing?
Board level, sir.
Yeah, board level. So board also they will start to manufacture, right? Layer by layer, how the wires has to be routed. Have an idea? Or let's say like during your final year, you will be working on some software, right? EDA tools for your circuitry. Have you done that? I think so. In the electrons and communication related labs, you will be finding that particular some kind of software you will be using for implementation of your circuit. For that, you will just click drag wire connections, transistor placing, and gate placing. Like that, you will build a circuit, and your symbolic representation of your circuit you are implementing in that particular multisim. Yeah, correct. I forgot, it's been a long. So multisim. So in that particular multisim, it's like every circuit is available for you. You are just using it, symbols and everything. So similar method here also, all the logical gates information will be available to me. What I have to do here is like, here I should be focusing on VLSI terms, that is like majorly on three different terms. First term is timing, power, area. When we design this particular IC, right, we will be focusing on three different terms: timing, power, and area. How this design gets implemented. Okay, how we are going to be logical information, we are converting it into physical information, is what this full flow we are going to be discussing. In this, multiple teams will be working. Okay, it's not like a single person is going to be handling a complete project. Multiple teams are there with you to support. Okay, when you're talking about I'll just go through this flow, and later on we'll discuss more on that, because it's just like orally when we go, you might get some confused. Now, why I taken that particular terms of multisim and PCB designing is for easier understanding, because you have already worked on it. Okay, this is what we are pulling and placing, but here no, there is no pulling and placing it. There will be already circuits available. You are just going to be placing that particular cells for a better timing or better power or better area. So like that, you have to modify each and every cell category here. Okay, right. So now VLSI flow. When you start any project, what is the first requirement you need? Basic question. Any project you take, what is the first requirement?
Specifications.
Correct. That is the first. Let's select idea or specifications. Next, you have to convert that particular ideology to a flowchart level, exactly how that particular process should go on, that particular model I need. So based on that particular model, I will be writing a code So easy to say. I have a blind idea. Okay, I have a blind idea. I'm passing it to you. Let's say like I need a phone with a camera, calling function, photography, and some scanning features. These are all config I need in my phone with some high clarity. So what you will try to implement now? I just given you this is my specification, and it should be having a 12 GB RAM because I'm a very good gamer, or let's say like I love gaming. So I say that I want 12 GB RAM and 120 Hertz refresh rate. So like that, I'm giving some configs to you. So what you will try to implement now from that particular idea?
Methodology.
Correct. How to implement? I have to get that particular idea again. Getting my point, right? The next step is methodology. So when we are telling about this particular methodology, right? So this is a very high level, or let's say like this ideology to be implemented also, we need some greater minds. I'm not telling we are weak, but what happens is like we don't want to make any mistakes. What the industrial people will do is like they will try to implement in a format of highly experienced people will be occupied by this. Because when you ask any question, or let's say like when any juniors are asking a question on this particular methodology, the answer should be on your tips, or within some minutes or hours you should be replying them back with that particular answer. Okay, so that's why the methodology team will be an highly experienced. They will divide. The answer is like divide and conquer concept will be present in that. How do I divide that idea, implement it, and group it to get a good result? They are going to be helping you on that. And next is methodology flowchart. I have now RTL designing. Okay, the next part is RTL designing. That is like writing out a behavioral code. Okay, RTL designing is writing out a behavioral code. So I have written out a behavioral code. I need to verify it. I have written out a behavioral code, whether it is
RTL
following my
simulation.
idea or not. Correct. Functional verification and simulation. That is what we'll term here. Let's make it like functional verification. That is like functionality I'm verifying is as per the ideology or not. Okay. So not only functionality, you are going to be checking about your syntax errors, everything on this particular functional verification stage. Clear? RTL design, I'll just make it design. Functional verification. So till this particular stage, all I have is logical related. There is no physical implementation related. Acceptable. That is like I said, right? RTL designing means logical implementation, or let's say like behavioral code writing of your methodology. That in term is like a logical code. Functional verification of that particular logical code. So in this term, till this particular stage, you can term it as front-end designing. Okay, front-end designing. That means they are going to be working purely on the logical entities, not on the physical part. So now it's not only like functional verification, RTL design. There is a concept of DFT, design for testability. Timing constraints. Okay. CLP, conformal low power. CDC, clock domain crossing. So there will be multiple teams in a single stage going parallelly. DFT is one team. Timing constraints is again one team. CLP one team. CDC one team. So all these teams will be working parallelly with you. Okay. So first is like I'm writing out the flow with all that particular, just an overview. Later on, we'll just go in depth of what each and every stage is doing. Sorry. Okay. DFT, timing constraints, CLP, CDC, like that multiple teams is going to be working here for you to support. So the next step is synthesis. PD, which is physical design. Where you will be having just give me a few minutes. I'm just writing out the flow, and after that, I'll start the explanation once again. Okay. Because if I'm going explanation and in this way, I might miss writing out few things, and I don't follow any documents. Okay. So that is my small drawback. Oh, my bad. Okay. So coming to that. This is the complete VLSI flow, or ASIC flow. To be perfect, I'll just modify the term to be ASIC. Okay. So now let's go in detail of all this. So this is front-end designing. Okay. So this complete stage is like your front-end designing. Or let's make it, I'll add here. Till this particular level, it's a complete front-end designing, where you should be having an ideology related to Verilog, system Verilog, UVM, yeah, like that, different levels of coding you might need to require. Okay. Front end is, as I said, purely on logical entity. You will be having, or you should know, an information related to hardware description language and your Verilog, system Verilog, UVM, like that, multiple codings are there which you might need to learn. Okay. So RTL design, where you will be writing out the behavioral code. Of the design by using .v or .vsd or .sv or so on. Whatever the language is, based on the requirement, you might need to write on that. Okay. So for functional verification or design verification, what you are going to do is like implementing, or let's say like checking the behavioral code, whether it by using some test benches. Okay. Functional verification or design verification by using some test vectors, you are going to be checking that particular RTL design. I think so the coding used is like UVM, and I'm not very much friendly on the front end. So UVM and some like codings you will be implementing on this. Okay. Next, DFT. DFT timing constraints, or let's make it like separately. DFT. So in the DFT team, what we are going to do is, okay, here again, if you remember, this is like purely on the logical side, based on the text vectors, checking the output of the code, and if the result is correct, okay, I'm good to go. Okay, by using some multiple test vectors. And when we are talking about the DFT stage, you will be hearing about some functionality checks like stuck at 0 fault, stuck at 1 fault, JTAG, mbest flow, okay, mbest, JTAG flow. Like that, you will be having different sets, which is again used for checking the functionality of your design only. Okay, by here using a concept called as scan chain. And DFT people, what they will do is they will insertion of scan chains to check the functionality. So when you're telling about functionality, in this they will be majorly focusing about stuck at 0, stuck at 1, by using some ATPG flows. That is what is meant by ATPG. For those who are doing final years, they should be able to know. Or is it not covered yet? Automatic test pattern generation. So JTAG. Okay, automatic test pattern generation. So like that, we will be having JTAG and MBIST. So I'm not familiarized again. A few stages I'm not familiarized with because I haven't worked in that particular levels. So that's why I'm not very good friendly on that. But I know what exactly the team is doing it, because as we are facing some issues in the real world, so according to that particular issues, to whom to consult and how to resolve it, those related informations, a basic way we know it, but advanced level we can't get to know until and unless you focus more on that, or you study more on that, or you work on it. Okay, so DFT, scan chain insertion, and for the functionality check, you are going to be using that their code. Okay, now, so as we were telling, VLSI industry majorly focuses on three different terms: timing, power, area. So when we are telling about timing, I have provided you a specification earlier that my phone has to be working in some gigahertz. For that particular working, okay, for that particular, the chip to be working in that particular frequency, okay, what all specifications I require, okay, for timing of for that particular design to be working in 120 gigahertz itself, okay, what all internal constraints or specifications required for timing has to be implemented in this particular timing constraints file. Timing constraints, where you will be having a term called as SDC. Okay, the file name is the extension is SDC or .mcmm. SDC means synopsis design constraints. MCMM means multi corner multi mode. Okay, so in which the clocking information. So when we are telling about clocking information, that is like 120 gigahertz or 120 megahertz or whatever the 1 gigahertz frequency, whatever the frequency we are telling, that we are providing in that particular constraints. Okay, and I'm not going in depth of it because you might get confused if I go in depth of it right now. So just keep it like majorly timing related information, and also in few cases you will be having the area information as well in the SDC files. Clear so far? Any questions? Akhil, I'll come to your question because we haven't gone to that particular stage. So that's why I haven't went to that part yet. So what is his question is, what is the difference between physical verification and design verification? And which needs more coding knowledge? So the answer is design verification requires more coding language than the physical verification, and the difference between them we'll discuss in few minutes. So apart from that, any other questions? Or can I move forward?
Hi, sir. Rekha here.
Yeah, hi Rekha.
Physical verification and physical design both are different or same.
Yes, different.
And what is the difference between physical design and analog layout?
Okay, so those two again are parallel teams. So the flow is similar. Okay, so till now what we have discussed, we'll discuss about that, and later on we will see about that particular layout also. Because the flow is same of PD itself, where you will be having that particular standard cell implementation, macro designing, all that will be coming under the term of analog designing, analog layout designing. So for that, according to the level of implementation, your position changes, macro designer or standard cell designer or gate designing, like that you will be having different terms.
Okay.
So that we'll see in few minutes. Okay, apart from this, any other questions? Till now what we have discussed, is it clear? FPGA has a smaller different flow, because in that you're majorly focusing on the coding prospect. Because what you do in FPGA is already a design is implemented and kept it for you. In that particular design, how that particular design to be working, you will write a code and dump it into that particular FPGA, and such that according to your coding language it will start to work. Some kind of an embedded and ASIC implemented both together as an FPGA. Okay, any other questions?
Sir, timing
Okay,
constraint is inside the DFT or from outside?
it is parallel to DFT.
Okay, sir.
So, okay, what I have written here is like DFT, timing constraints, CLP, CDC, all these are parallel, not one after the other stages. So the reason why I have written here parallel is the RTL, okay, based on this particular RTL designing, they will first try to perform DFT. Okay, DFT, timing constraints, power consumption techniques, and clock domain crossings. All this they will try to check it out, and based on that they will try to implement. If there is any advancement in that particular RTL code, they will try to update that as well. Okay, now now what is scan chain? So scan chain means it's a back to back. Okay, sorry, I think so I missed few things. So when we are writing out this particular RTL code, we have to focus on that particular DFT related as well. So they will be having, so once I will write out an RTL code, I'll pass it to DFT team, and based on their requirement, they will update that particular RTL code with respect to the scan chains. Okay, let's select modifications of few more functionality check related modules. So most probably when we are telling behavioral code, you will be hearing about some terms called as modules, right? Idea? What is meant by module? Remember or not? Guys, if you don't answer, I might not be able to understand whether you know it or not. Okay, then let's stick to what exactly it is. So now when we are telling about behavioral code, each and every functionality will be defined in a module. Okay, let's say for when you're telling about AND gate. So they will be writing a code like module and y equal to a and b. So they will be writing like module a and b, And how many pins are required for AND gate? If it is a 2-pin AND gate, A, B, C. And next step you will be writing is like input AB. And next is output is C. And C equal to, assign C equal to A and B. And end module. So I just written a single, let's say like a sample code. So it's just for a basic AND gate. So like that, when you consider a RAM, it will be having n number of gates. So for the tool to understand, you can write, instead of writing this code every time, what you can do is you can call this particular function. We can also tell modules are like a functions, which will be helping us to get to know that particular functionality of that particular logic. Okay, modules are function definitions which will be giving us the functionality of that particular module. So now when we want to implement this particular code, this is a purely logical entity. So when I'm telling purely logical entity, it doesn't know in which particular technology I'm manufacturing and what is the timing required for that particular cell. The tool doesn't know it. Okay. So for that, what I have to do is like, and also I need to check this particular functionality later after the physical implementation. Okay. By using test codes, yes, I can be able to find it. And that will be a little bit of complex. And at the same time, to make it simpler, those particular test codes has also been updated. And also after the physical implementation, to get more clear picture, okay, after the physical implementation, to get more clear picture, the DFT team will try to update this particular code. So this, in this AND gate, there will not be a very major update. When you take like a flip-flop or a register or any counter or let's say like a bigger circuits, what will happen is, okay, what will happen is based on that particular clocking, the register is working. Okay, based on that particular clocking, the register is working. So in that particular instance, if that particular clock is not receiving where it got filled, okay, I can be able to get to know by using that particular some DFT related checks, functionality checks, why the functionality is failing, which flop is causing an issue, which particular gate is causing an issue. I can be easily pinpoint if I'm using the term called as scan chains. Okay, now let's get in depth of, or let's like a little bit more brief on that particular scan chain. So scan chain means, note, okay, scan chain means it is a back-to-back flop connections. It is a back-to-back flop connections. That means in between those registers, you will be, okay. Now, before going more forward on that particular scan chain, let me ask a question. How many pins are present in a flip-flop? When we consider a flip-flop, how many pins are present?
Sir, you are asking input pin, output pin?
Yeah.
Sir, if it is like SR flip-flop, then it will be 2 input, 2 output.
Okay.
If it is a
That is like,
D
let's check
flip-flop,
like D flip-flop.
it is 1 input, 2 output.
That is D, Q, Q bar. Huh. Okay. Guys, give me, let's take a 10 minutes break. There is a small work I got in urgent, and we will discuss again. Okay. The time is 10:30. We'll be back at 10:45. Okay. Late after that, I'll come to this particular scan chain explanation only. A small urgent work. I'll be back. Okay. Back at 10:45. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Sorry, I think so I was muted. Yeah. Okay. So we were discussing about this scan chains, right? So we basically know that when we consider a D flip-flop, we have D, Q, Q bar. Along with it, there will be also few pins. If you remember, always when we consider a flip-flop or a register,
Clock.
you will be having a clock pin. Yeah. One clock pin. And there will be some more pins called as reset, clear, and along with it, there will be two more pins also available. That is scan enable and scan input.
Ground.
Okay. When you talk about power pins, you will be having VDD and ground or VSS. So now with the basic circuit itself, we came to know that this number of pins will be present. So not all flip-flops will be having SI and SE. Okay, not all pins will be having SI and SE. So few cells will be having and few cells will not. So the cells which will be having that SI and SE pins will be present in that particular scan chain information. So now two parts here, functionality mode and a test mode. Okay, not to make you confused, but to give you some clear idea on this particular scan chain, or let's say like DFT check, I'm giving you an idea. So functionality mode and a scan mode. If the register A is working based on the D pin, it's called as a functionality mode. If the cell A data is received using the scan input, it is called as scan mode. Okay, the cell is working in a scan mode if the data is received from scan input, and if it is received from D pin, it is called as a functional mode. Clear? Clear so far? Any questions?
Sure.
Now, moving to the next step. So when we are telling about this scan chain, right, what it will be having is, from this particular, based on these two pins only, the cell is working now, scan enable and scan input. This will be directly connected to the next flop. Q will be connected to the next flop scan input. This is how the scan chain connections will be present. Okay, back to back flop connections, that is what we say. Clear? Back to back flop connections where the data is getting kind of passed through that particular scan input. Clear so far? Any questions? Okay, now moving to the, so that's why I said like scan chain is a back-to-back flop connections. When this particular DFT team is working, they will be majorly focused on this particular scan enable and scan input related connections only, not with respect to the D pin. Okay. Now, moving to the next step, that is like timing constraints, where you will be having all your clocking information related info available. So the next is CLP team or low power. Okay, CLP team. What this team will be providing you is multi voltage or power consumption reduction techniques. Okay, CLP or VCLP, we can also term like CLP or VCLP team. They will be trying to do is like multi-voltage or power consumption related techniques.
Like
Okay.
voltage regulation.
Correct. How much voltage to be occupied by your device. So you're telling, right, more battery power needed. When you use your phone, battery backup should be more. How to increase that particular battery backup? That is what they will be majorly focusing and giving you. Okay, clear? Is this so far clear for everyone? Now,
Yes, sir.
the next team is CDC. So that is like clock domain crossing. Okay, so what this team will try to do here is Okay, what, or let's say like what this team will focus here is majorly on the let's say like the connections going from one clock domain to another clock domain. Okay, CDC means they will be majorly focusing on timing paths. Okay, timing paths, or let's say like data passing from one clock domain to another clock domain. One clock domain to another. So I know that it is not a very detailed explanation, but it's just like a vague. That is like when you go more in depth of PD, right? You will be getting a better understanding on this. Okay, not every team requires on this, but we might need an understanding of it. Okay, CDC means timing paths one from one clock domain to another clock domain, because when what is asynchronous clocks?
Sir, in which the different flip-flops are given the different clock pulses.
Okay, so it's not only on the based on the clock pulses, it's also based on the PLL. Okay, same PLL can provide you multiple differences. Okay, multiple clock frequencies. Clear, right? Yeah, correct.
Yes.
So different. So when there are of asynchronous clocks, just as an example, when there are of asynchronous clocks, can we meet the timing between them? Guys, is my voice low?
Sir, somewhat low.
Fine, sir.
Okay. So how is it now?
And now audible good.
Fine.
Okay. So my question is, if we are telling those as asynchronous clocks, just get your understanding. I'm not giving any explanation for that also right now. Just like a question. As there are asynchronous clocks, can we meet the timing between them? Or easy to ask. Both are of different, there are two teachers now. They are telling you in different frequencies. Okay, they are telling you in different methodologies. Can you meet, or let's say like, can you understand them both at a single time?
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No.
It will be difficult, right? At that time, what should I do? I should
Compare
get an
both.
understanding between
Compare
them.
both.
Some kind of controller or some kind of synchronizer I need, correct? For
Yes,
my
sir.
understanding, I need some kind of synchronizer. So this CDC team will be helping you on that implementation. Okay, clear?
Hello, Vishal. I'm Srinivas here.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so when you are done, please let me know. I am connected. I can address any institute specific queries, any queries related to the timings and schedule, anything.
Yeah, okay, sir, sure. I'll let you know.
Okay, I think regarding CDC, right? Cloud domain crossing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we can explain in a little better manner also. I mean, don't mind if I'm interrupting here. So everyone, if you want to understand CDC, Vishal, is that okay, right? If I talk for a
Yeah,
couple of
okay, sir,
minutes?
you can. No.
Okay. So basically, CDC, as you know, stands for clock domain crossing. What is clock domain is, why do you need clock domains is, if you take mobile phone, the one you are holding right now, or laptop on which you are connected to the session, it has got a chip in which there are various subblocks are there, various subsystems are there. For example, a processor subsystem, a USB subsystem, or a DDR subsystem, or graphics processing unit subsystem. Various components are there. All these components work on different clock frequencies because the basic principle of clock is where you require high performance, we use high frequency clock. Let's say a mobile phone processors should give high performance. We go for high frequency clock in processor subsystem. Let us say keyboard is there, even in mobile phone keyboard is there, in laptop keyboard is there. That will be working on a low performance because we don't need a lot of performance from keyboard. So there we provide low frequency clock. What does it mean? It means that my system will have some components working on high frequency clock, some components working on some medium clock, some component working on low frequency clock. Now what happens? All these components are interconnected with each other. That means processor is connected to keyboard, a address signal is moving from processor subsystem to USB subsystem. So that means what? It is changing a one clock domain to another clock domain. Now we can understand this concept through one simple example. Let us say you want to catch a bus. The bus is running. It's running, and you're planning to catch that bus. Let's say you directly jump into the bus. What will happen? The bus is running and you directly jump into the bus. What will happen? You will fall down inside the bus, right? Because you are not able to catch up. I mean, your speed was different. You are walking initially. The bus is going at a different speed. Same is the difference here. So you are walking at 5 kilometers per hour. Bus is running at 40 kilometers per hour, and you are trying to catch. So your speeds don't match up. So you will end up falling down. That concept is called as metastability. When you take the same concept in VLSI, that concept is called as, like you are falling down, it is called as, similar thing is called as metastability in VLSI. So that means whenever a signal moves from one clock domain to another clock domain, what happens? It leads to metastability. Metastability means something wrong can happen. It may become good, it may become bad. So that concept is called as metastability. Now in the bus example, what will you do to avoid metastability? To avoid falling down, what will you do? Can someone tell me? Let's say you want to still catch a running bus. You are walking. What will you do to catch the bus?
We need to match the speed of the bus.
Basically, you hold the bus handle. Around for 5 seconds, you run along with the bus. You hold the handle. You walking, you slowly increase your speed. And you catch up with the bus speed. Once you catch up with the bus speed, then you jump into the bus. Right? Basically, you are walking. Then you, for 5 seconds, you walk along with the bus. Then you jump into the bus. The same concept is what we apply in CDC also. What we do? We use synchronizers between clock domain 1 and clock domain 2. Let us say in this case, the processor 1 is the clock domain 1. USB is the clock domain 2. So they are working at different frequencies. To match those frequencies, in between we keep synchronizers. What is synchronizer? Synchronizer is a flip-flop back-to-back connected. Let's say you have connected multiple flip-flops one after other. That is called as flip-flop. That is called as synchronizer. So when to resolve these CDC issues, mostly they use back-to-back connected flip-flops. Now CDC itself is a very in-depth topic. So we can't really make one statement and say that will solve the problem. It has got a lot more aspects, asynchronous paths. There are various things. So that need to be addressed in a different aspect of the training. So I hope this gives you a basic idea about what is CDC. Now the question comes, what happens if I don't use the synchronizer between clock domain 1 and clock domain 2? What will happen? Like in bus example, what happened? You directly jumped into the bus. What will happen? There is a very good chance that you will fall down. Accident, right? Same way, let's say you are getting down from the bus and you directly jump from the bus without doing anything. What will happen? You will surely fall down. Again, what do you do when you are jumping down from the bus? You walk for some time on the ground, then you leave the bus handle. Same thing where if you don't use synchronizers in between one domain to other domain, there will be a very good chance that it will lead to metastability. Metastability means unknown condition. Unknown condition means X. Then what will happen is our complete chip will go into unknown condition. Let us say at any point of time in your mobile phone, a metastability happens. Even now, let's say I'm talking, for some reason in my mobile phone metastability happens. my phone will stop working immediately. So we don't want that to happen. So to avoid all these issues, we go with synchronizers between one domain and other domain. Okay, I hope you understood this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Vishal, please continue. I'll be connected. If you, whenever you are done, let me know. And to everyone, I believe there are almost 50 plus participants. There is a chance that some of you are not able to follow many things. You may not be able to follow what is meant by flip-flop, what is meant by synchronizer, what is meant by clock domain crossing, what is meant by physical design, synthesis. These terms are all probably new to most of you. 1 second. Stop. Okay, so please note that is where we have a 2 months of basics foundation course where all these concepts will be covered from the scratch. We will start even from the basics, like what is a AND gate, what is OR gate, what is multiplexer. At that level we'll teach. Then we'll also teach about the fundamentals of the Asic flow, what happens in the front end domain, what happens in the back end domain, how each aspect of the flow is related to each other. Then we'll also teach about the CMOS and semiconductor fundamentals. We'll also talk about the physical design flow basics, like what is meant by floor plan, what is meant by placement, what is meant by synthesis. All these aspects will be covered in detail. So why am I telling all this is, in case you are a fresher and you are not able to follow what trainer is teaching, because since there are 50 participants, he probably doesn't understand at what level to teach. So there might be some of you who is not able to follow each and everything what trainer is teaching. So I want to give you that assurance that the course will consist of the fundamental course where everything will be covered from the basics, and there will be corresponding assignments and the lab sessions where you will be getting the step-by-step guidance with all these aspects. Okay, whatever Vishal is, trainer is teaching is more into the advanced aspects of the PD flow. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you. Do you have any questions right now before the trainer continues? Is there anything that you are not able to follow in last 1 hour of session? Yeah. Course fees. Voice is not clear, Surendra.
Sir, course fee structure చెప్పండి sir. Please tell me course fee structure of PD domain.
Fee structure is basically the
course
all
fee
the backend. Yeah, I got it. Okay, he is asking those people who don't understand Telugu. He's asking what is the course fee structure. The course fee is 45,000 plus tax. It will be for 6 months duration. This 6 months course will consist of 2 months of basic foundation course and 4 months of advanced course. So if those who are already familiar with the basics, let's say someone who knows Linux operating system, someone who knows TCL scripting, and who is already familiar with CMOS, digital design, everything, they can skip the 2 months of basic course and they can directly join the 4 months of advanced course. But someone who is fresh and who don't have much expertise, they have gone through the BTech, but they haven't done most of the things that we are talking about. That is, you can please write down now what we are going to cover in basic course. Keep a pen ready and a paper, and please write down what we are going to cover in PD basics I'm talking about now. So we will be covering, we will be covering Asic flow. First, we will be teaching you what all things are involved in the VLSI design flow.
Yes, sir.
Then we will be covering digital design in depth, everything of digital design, starting from why we are learning digital design, the concepts of combinational logic, sequential logic, and the applications of combinational logic and applications of the sequential logic. Once it is done, we will be starting off with understanding of the semiconductor fundamentals, because anyone who gets into the VLSI backend domain, that is physical design, custom layout, or all these aspects, they need to understand how the CMOS works, how the FinFET works, what is meant by short channel effects. All those things need to be understood. We will cover that. Other than that, we will cover about IC fabrication. How do we fabricate the IC? What is meant by lithography? What is meant by etching? What is meant by mask? What is meant by oxidation? All those kind of concepts will be covered in depth. Other than that, we will be covering Linux operating system at an advanced level, where you will become expert with the Linux operating system, because most of you are used to Windows operating system, but when you get into the job, mostly the work will be in Linux operating system. Once it is done, we will be covering TCL scripting language. Then we will be covering PD flow basics. See, the trainer, while during last 1.5 hours, he was using multiple keywords. He was using terms like clock domain crossing. He was using terms like input files. He was using terms like floor plan. So we will be making you familiar with those keywords. We will make sure that you get familiarity with those keywords, because when you join into the main 4 months training, if you understand these keywords, what is meant by a macro, what is meant by a standard cell, what is meant by die area. See, most of you probably won't understand those keywords. We will make sure that you get familiar with those keywords. This is the next topic. Followed by, we'll be teaching basics of networking theory. I mean, what is meant by KCL, what is meant by KVL, what is meant by I mean IR, what is the concept of current, what is the concept of resistance, inductance, and capacitance. Some basics about that. We don't need to get deep into solving many types of IR circuits, but some basic idea. This is all what constitutes the 2 months of basic course. Now this 2 months of basic course will be done for 6 days in a week. Every week we'll have 6 days of training, and every day we'll have 4 hours of training. And the remaining time we will be providing you with the course assignments, so that you will have to work on those, and the next day, following day, you can talk to the trainer and get your doubts clarified. Now the training is offered in both classroom and online. Those who prefer to attend it online, I mean, for complete course, they can attend it online. Those who would like to attend in classroom, they can attend in classroom. And those who want a mix of model, sometime, let's say right now you are in native place and you want to attend it online for 1 month or 2 months. After that, you want to come to Bangalore and attend in classroom, that can also be done. So basically, in all these modes, you have a flexibility to move between any mode of training to any mode of training. Okay, now the another flexibility you get with this course is, for every session you attend, the session is being recorded. That recorded video will be provided to you for 1 week duration. Sometimes it is even more than 1 week, but you will always get a recorded video for revising the topics. Let's say the trainer has taught you some concepts. I was talking about CDC. It is possible that some of you didn't understood that concept. So there is always a chance for you to revisit that video and clarify all your concepts. And even after that, if you still don't understand, the trainer will be accessible the next day, very next day. Let's say today is Sunday, tomorrow Monday he will be available. You can talk to him and you can get your doubts clarified. So always session is planned in such a way that initial part of session, 15 to 20 minutes, is always allotted for doubt clarification only. Only once all your doubts are clarified, the session will move to the next topic. So this is about the initial 2 months of training, where we cover various topics that I have the trainer has written down now. Once it is done, we start off with the 4 months of main training. The 4 months of main training is structured to make sure that you become expert with the complete PD flow. What do we mean by PD flow? It starts from, as the trainer has listed in his notepad, it will start from the input files. It will start from the creation of the project database. It will involve understanding the concept of die area, various aspects. Then it will involve concept of floor planning. You plan the floor area. Then you do the placement of the macros and standard cells. Then it goes through various stages like clock tree synthesis, routing. Then we do spef extraction. Then we do SDF generation. Then we do static timing analysis. Then we do IR drop analysis. Then we do physical verification. All these concepts will be covered. Along with that, we will also give exposure to synthesis and physical verification. So what we are trying to do here is, in this 4 months duration, we are trying to teach you, along with physical design flow, we will also be teaching the concepts of synthesis, the concepts of static timing analysis, the concepts of physical verification. So the course will help you with 4 aspects of the backend flow. What are those 4 aspects? Can someone tell me?
Timing, area, power.
Timing, area, power. In summary, we are going to do PNR flow, placement and routing flow, and we will also teach synthesis. We will also teach static timing analysis concepts. We will also teach physical verification. So why we are teaching all these 4 aspects in physical design training is so that you will be suitable for various job requirements. Sometimes what happens, Altran comes, Capgemini. They want candidates who are trained in physical verification. Sometimes one more company comes, HCL comes. They want someone with static timing analysis expertise. Along with the PD flow, along with the PD flow expertise, the company, 1 second please. So along with this PD flow expertise, the company sometimes expects you to have some additional expertise. So we are trying to set up a course where, other than learning PD flow, we also teach you the concepts of synthesis, concepts of static timing analysis, concepts of physical verification, so that you will be suitable for various job requirements. Otherwise, what happens is, if I just teach you physical design flow only, your job requirements, I mean, you will be eligible only for the companies where there is a requirement only for PNR flow, that is placement and routing flow. When I say PNR, what it means is placement and routing flow. So we are trying to include other things into the training flow so that your profile will be suitable for various types of job requirements. Now, sir, please tell me. Pawan, you have some questions? Pawan, sorry, please be in mute. Yeah, please be in mute. Yeah. Now, even this 4 months training is offered in 2 modes. If you are looking for weekends only course, it will be weekends only training. Both the theory session and lab session will happen over the weekends. If someone is looking for full week training, the training will be for full week. It will be 6 days of training in that case, where 2 or 3 days will be on the theory and 3 or 4 days will be on the lab sessions. So this is the summary of the basics, 2 months basic course and the 4 months main course. During this course duration, you will be getting access to the tool, the complete set of Synopsys tools, that is Design Compiler, ICC2, Prime Time, Star RC, IC Validator. You will get access to all these tools for the complete course duration, and you will get access 24/7. That means throughout the day, anytime you can connect and access the tool. And you will also be getting access to the complete course material, the presentations. You will get access to the course lab documents, assignments, and even the interview preparation material. Everything will be provided to you. And we are starting from this batch. We are planning to provide the hard copy of the course material. Okay. So that is about the course overview. I mean, I'm sorry, Vishal, I'm sorry I broke your flow. I thought I joined anyway. Let me explain the things. Any questions you have? I mean, what was the intention of me explaining was that if you are not able to, some of you are not able to follow whatever some keywords the trainer has used, please don't worry. Everything will be covered from the basics. The course has been structured in such a way that you will have a gradual learning process. And if you give the right amount of time and effort from your side, you won't have any difficulty in learning the things.
Hello?
Yeah, please.
Hello? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is it a certified course?
Certified course. Okay. See, basically in VLSI, there is no certified institutions. Okay. So when you say certification, if you go to one example, if I take networking, CCNA, it is certified by Cisco. Like that in VLSI, there is no certification. But if you still want certification, institute will provide you the certificate of course completion. Mostly when you go for the interviews, companies don't hire you based on certification. At least in VLSI, hiring happens based on your performance and your knowledge. So the answer for your question is there is no certification by any agencies in VLSI. So hence nobody, no institute can offer you certified courses. For me, whatever course I have certified, yeah, please tell.
Sir, you told me that Yes, if you will provide some assignment, okay, sir?
Yes,
Hello?
we will be providing that. Yeah.
So these assignments will help in like the placement and also.
Of course, the assignments will help in placement. See, I'll tell you one example how the assignment will be. If I am
Yeah.
talking about digital, let's say I teach you flip flop. I teach you what is JK flip flop, what is SR flip flop, what is toggle flip flop, D flip flop. I will also teach you what is the application of this flip flop. I will also teach you how to convert JK flip flop to T flip flop, T flip flop to D flip flop, various things. We will also talk about the applications of this flip flop. Then I will be giving you assignments based on these topics only. Let's say if I teach you how to convert JK flip flop to T flip flop, I'll give you an assignment on converting D flip flop to T flip flop. So assignments will be related to these topics only. Eventually, by the time you complete all these assignments, you will have the enough expertise to attend the interviews and clear the interviews.
Sir, when the interview will start, sir? Like when the placement will start, sir? In which month?
The placement will start from the 6th month of the training. The reason is companies, whoever visit the institute, they want the candidate to be completed with their training. See, let's say I'll give you one simple example. You have done a BTech. You have done BTech. Now, can your college give you placement opportunity from third year onwards?
No, sir. It is in fourth semester, eighth
Why?
semester.
8th semester. Why? Because the companies expect that the candidate should have completed the 7 semesters of their course or 8 semesters before they join into the company. Here also, whenever any company, for that matter, any company, if I provide a candidate who has only done 2-3 months of training, the company doesn't accept, because they feel that how can we provide a candidate who hasn't done the training, completed the training. So your placement support will start 6th month of
after
the training.
5th month, in the 6th month, like after 5th month, the placement will start.
From after 5th month, that is exactly from the 6 months. Let us take the dates. Let's say you started training on 1st of January. Your placement support will start from 1st of June. Okay, and placement support will be till the time you get a job. I mean, I won't give any commitment. Everyone who is on the call, please listen this statement again. I am not giving any 100% commitment on the job, but till the time you get a job, we continue to provide the support. It could be 6 months, it could be 1 year, it could be 2 years or 3 years. Till the time you get a job, you continue to get the support from institute. Support doesn't mean just getting the opportunities. Support could be in terms of giving you the mock interviews, giving you access to the materials, giving you opportunity to interact with the trainer, or giving you opportunity to come to the institute and attend, be interact with the trainer, all those things. So basically, your association with the institute doesn't end with 6 months of training. You can continue to be associated with the training, and you can continue to get benefit from the institute. Interact with the trainer and make sure that you are learning the things. So that
Sir,
is
what will be
as
the
part of
timing for the course, sir?
Timings will be generally, currently the timings will be, see, 2 slots will be there in the institute. One is morning slot, one is afternoon slot. Morning slot is from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Second slot is from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So mostly batches happen in the morning slot, but there is a possibility that some sessions can happen in the afternoon slot also.
Sir, for physical design also there will be 2 sessions in the single day, sir?
No, see, you are attending, you have been attending this session from 9:30, for example. If I make you attend same session till 5:30, will you be able to sit?
No, sir.
You won't be able to, right? For one day it's fine, you can do something and attend. Let me tell you, after 4 hours you will feel, even if you want to attend, you won't be able to attend, because it's very difficult to take the things after 4 hours of training. So hence we have come up with the optimal number. 4 hours is what we feel with, that is including breaks. 4 hours is more than sufficient in a day. If we try to do anything more than that, it's not possible. For me, it's good. I can finish off the course instead of 6 months. I can finish off course in 4 months by doing full day training. But the question is, will you be able to benefit out of it? So hence, 4 hours of training. The remaining time need to be spent on self-learning, where you go through, you revise the things what trainer has covered. The whatever notes the trainer is making, we will be sharing that notes, and we'll be providing you with the presentations, assignments, and everything. You will have to work on those things, and then the next day you will have to connect with the trainer and get your doubts clarified. If you follow this process properly and don't deviate and don't get into any personal things, there is a very good chance that you will get a job, at least in the current job scenario.
Okay, sir. Sir, the classes is starting from tomorrow, sir.
Classes will start from tomorrow. In the worst case, Tuesday. But because we need to give 1 day time for people to enroll, right? Complete enrollment. Except for that delay, once the course starts, either tomorrow or day after tomorrow, the course will continue. There won't be any further breaks.
We'll get the update on the WhatsApp group, sir.
Yeah, we'll create a WhatsApp group. In that, you will be added and you will get the updates through that WhatsApp group for everything.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello,
And
sir.
more
Is the
important,
course material shared with us?
we will be
Like
providing
as
the
you're
complete.
telling.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, is the
Hello,
course
sir.
material shared to us through like a home delivery, or like how? Like, do we need to collect from the office, or like how? I'm planning to
Currently,
online actually.
as soon as you enroll for the course, we'll be providing you with the soft copy of the material. Once we have the hard copy, we'll be sharing the hard copy of the material. We'll inform
And
you
how
all those
about,
things. Yeah, please tell.
yeah, and how about timings for online and offline? Is the timings correlated with the same, like the people who are attending online and the people who are attending the offline? Is there any difference with the timings, or?
There is no difference in the timing. See, what happens is the trainer will be at the institute and he will be teaching to the classroom students, and the same session will be done for the online students also. Only thing is, trainer doesn't use the whiteboard. He won't go and do anything on the whiteboard. He will do everything on the laptop monitor. See, while trainer was explaining, he was drawing everything on the laptop screen itself. So that way, what happens? A classroom student, online student doesn't feel any difference in the training. I mean, they won't miss anything. So the training will be done at the same time for both offline students and online students, and the timings will be
Sir,
same.
if any internships will come
Online
to
course,
the
offline course fee.
One second. No, 1 second. Syed Ahmad, please ask your question because there were multiple voices. Yeah, Syed Ahmad, please go ahead now.
Sir, is there any difference between offline course and online course amount?
No, fee wise there is no difference. Fee wise there is no difference, and
That is new
schedule
batch.
wise.
Which batch will start, sir, now, or this month or next month?
See, the new batch starts every 5 weeks. That means, let us say today is 27th. So we are starting a batch now. The next batch will start after 5 weeks. What will be the 5 weeks? In April 24th plus 1. So 1st of May, the next batch will start. 1st or 2nd of May, next batch will start.
Okay.
You understood?
Sir, if we
Yeah.
pay today, like how, by how time we get the access?
1 second. Rakesh, please ask your question.
So if we pay the amount now, so when, at what time we would be expecting that access and everything, like VPN, everything?
No, see, Rakesh, you don't need VPN today itself, because if I'm teaching digital design, I want you to focus on digital design today. Okay, let's say if I'm teaching Linux operating system today, I want you to learn Linux operating system today. So when we start with the PD course where you require the server VPN access and server access, at that time we'll provide you. So once you enroll today, let's say, you will be getting all the access, relevant access today itself within 2 hours. But as and when we need to provide you the VPN access, that time we'll provide you. Yeah, please tell me.
Hello.
I've got it.
One second.
Hello, sir.
Rakesh, you have no. Please wait. Let me ask Rakesh. Do you still have any questions, Rakesh?
No, I'm done, sir. Thank you. Got it.
Thank you. Okay, fine. No mention. Okay, please go ahead now.
Hello?
Some girl was asking.
Yeah. Sir, you have told about the batches, like that was the regular batches, right? So what about the
Yes,
weekend batches? Means when it will be start this batch and next batch?
I will tell you. See, the weekend batch will be starting tomorrow itself. Basically, what happens in the weekend batch? Your basic course will be through a mode of e-learning plus live weekend courses, because during the basics training, when we do the digital design training, when we do Linux, when we do CMOS and semiconductor everything, we cannot do only weekend training. Because if I teach digital design only on weekends, the course will go for 3 months. The digital design itself will take 3 months. Like that, everything will take the basic course instead of 2 months, it will stretch to 6 months. So what we do is during the initial 2 months, we will be providing you with access to all the course recorded videos. So whatever topics that we have listed down sometime back, right? Like Asic flow, digital design, Linux, TCL, everything, you will be getting access to all the recorded videos. Mostly those videos are my videos in many cases. You will be getting access to all those videos. Over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, there will be live training sessions for you. That is for the students who are attending only weekends. Once the 2 months of training is done, the 4 months training will be full-fledged for you. It will be like morning 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. will be the theory session. After from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. lab session will happen. And sometimes it may so happen that due to your schedule, you may miss 1 or 2 sessions. You are not able to attend. In all those cases, you will get access to the recorded video, and we will also connect you with a trainer with whom you can have one-to-one conversation, one-to-one sessions to get the additional support. Daksha, I hope it answers your question.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, classes
Sir, you
will be
said,
conducted in Oramabu, sir.
Lakshmi Narayana, please ask the question.
hello, sir. You said that batches will be conducted on morning and afternoon, no, sir. So if we miss the morning batch, can we join in the afternoon batch? Like any problem?
No, what happens is the batch will be either in the morning or either in the afternoon. See, we can't do 2 parallel batches. The major problem in the institute is not with the institute office, not with anything. Problem with in any institute is with the quality trainers. So we won't be able to run 2 parallel batches at same time. Let's say we are starting a batch this month. I won't be able to do a 1 morning batch and 1 afternoon batch. What I was telling is the batch will either happen in the morning, batch will either happen in the afternoon. One of those slots. Mostly we try for morning batch. So Lakshmi Narayana, in case you miss any session, there will always be access to recorded video. Even whatever I'm talking now, it is getting recorded. This video also you can go and read it. Like that, for every session you attend for next 6 months, you will be able to review each and every video for 1 week duration.
Yeah, okay,
and
thank you.
In the next session, you can always talk to the trainer and make sure that you clarify your doubt.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I hope it answers your question.
Yes, sir.
Niranjan, some question.
Yes, sir. Sir, during the course, sir, if I get any internship for the physical design, sir, then
you can join, and we will we will refund your fee, part of the fee what you were supposed to. You can join into the internship at that time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so there is a possibility that, see, now people who are not understanding what is he talking about. Some of you might be aware that we are partnering with many companies, and we are offering a company sponsored internship program. As part of that program, what is happening is the company will hire you, they will sponsor your training cost, and you will be joining into our institute only. Once you complete the training, they will give you a guaranteed job. Your job will be guaranteed, but in return you will have to sign a 3 years bond with the company. So Niranjan is asking me question in the same context. Let's say I have joined the training, some internship comes, and I get into that internship. What will happen? Now the company is going to sponsor my training cost. So what is my answer here is, once that happens, we will refund that part of the fee to you. In case that happens. Now, if you think that no, I don't want to sign any bond, I'm okay with putting my own money for the training cost, and after the training, I'll go ahead with my own job opportunities. You can do that as well. There is no restriction here. Niranjan, I hope it is clear to you.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, it is clear. But one more question, sir. Sir, if after 6 months I will place in some company, they will also sign a bond for 3 years, sir, or less?
Generally, currently the trend is that 90% of the companies are asking for the bond, because see what happens, the company invests in you. When you join the company, immediately you don't become productive. Productive means what? You don't start generating revenues for them. Okay. Now it takes time for you to become productive. It could be 6 months, it could be 8 months. Many times it happens. Okay. Now the company is investing in you, right? Every month they're spending money to make sure that you're getting trained properly, you're learning the knowledge, and you become productive. Now what happens once fine day you come and say that no, I have got a better opportunity, I want to leave. What company will do then? Whatever investment they have put on you, it has gone waste, right? So these days every company is taking a bond almost, and you should not worry about the bond. See, the bond doesn't mean that you are not like a bonded laborer, that they will not give you any money and they'll make you work. It's not that definition. Bond means you have to stay with the company. They will give you the hikes. They will give you good hikes. Let's say you start with 3 lakhs salary. Next year they may even make it 4.5, 5 lakhs. Next year they may make it 6 lakhs. The company also gives you that visibility also. They don't want you to be underpaid and working with underpay, but they want you to stay with the company for 3 years so that you are productive. So that is the intention of bond. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, after completion of course, I need.
No, your question, can you come again? There was some noise.
After completion of course,
yeah. No, your question is still not clear. You can, if it still continues, you please post your question in the chat window. I can read that and answer that question. Please post your question in the chat window. Someone else has a question?
Yeah, sir, what are the minimum and maximum package companies are offering for the backend role?
I will tell you. I'll tell you. Basically, there are two types of companies, as you know. One is a product company, product-based company. One is service-based company. The product-based companies, minimum salary starts with 6 lakhs and it goes till 12 lakhs. The services companies, the minimum salary starts with 2.5 lakhs and it goes till around 4.5 to 5 lakhs. Now, your chance of getting into a services company is more in institutes. I mean, whenever you get trained in any institute, 90% chance is of, I would say even 95%. I don't want to make any wrong commitments here. 95% of chance that you will get into services company. 5% chance that you will get into product company. When I say product company, you can get into companies like Synopsys, Cadence. You can get into companies like Boeing. You can get into companies like AMD, Micron, Microchip. See, we work with around 7-8 companies where you will have a chance. But otherwise, if you ask me where do I have more chance of getting into job, that is mostly services companies. So the salary, to answer your question, if you get into services company, your salary can be anywhere between 2.5 lakh to 5 lakhs.
I posted, sir.
Okay, fine. I'll read it and answer that. Okay. After completion of the course, I need certification for sure. Yeah, Anil, we will be providing the certification of the completion. We will be providing the certification.
Sir, how beneficial is this course for sitting interview for product-based companies? Not I'm just asking. How good we become to sit for an interview for product-based companies?
No, see, you will become good to attend any kind of training. You can be either it all depends upon how do you learn the things during the training. See, same batch, 30 people are there. Your attitude will make the difference. How well you learn, how much effort you put. Let me tell you, the trainer who is taking your course right now, he's the person who is talking. Few years back, long back, he was also one of our students. Okay, let me tell you. Now he has learned so well that he's able to guide another 50 people. Okay, the same way, most of my students, I mean, it depends. It's the attitude that makes the difference. I mean, you can learn so well that you can become, you can get into a product company also. It's all quite possible. Let me tell you one example. What happened? One of the student, I don't want to name his name. He has joined one company, Sirium. They were paying 4.5 lakhs. Right now, he has joined 2 years back. His current salary is 4.5 lakhs. Last week, he got offer from Cadence for 19 lakhs, 19.5 lakhs, from 4 lakhs to 19.5 lakhs. And the bond amount in Sirium was in that company was 5 lakhs. He paid that 5 lakhs and he moved to Cadence. So what I was telling, even he went through our institute only. He learned so much in that he was able to jump from one company to other company with so much hike. You might notice, right? What is the difference? So in his same batch, there might be other student who is still in the same company. It's all the person's attitude that will make the difference here. Okay, so to answer your question, if you ask me, will I be able to attend a product company interview and will I be able to clear the interview? Answer is yes. The trainers are very capable and they will give you all the required expertise.
Yes, sir, got it.
Does it
Thank
answer your question, Niranjan?
Hello.
Yeah, please ask.
Yeah, sir. If I join the online course, then what will be the nature of the interviews? Means it will be online, or should I go to the institute?
You mean how the interviews will happen? Is that you're asking?
Yeah. It will be online or offline.
See, currently, as of today, whatever interviews are happening, everything is happening online only. But we don't know how the things will change after 3 months, right? After 3 months, it might happen that companies will start working in offline mode, and they will call you to their office to attend the interview. So that is not in the hands of the institute. It is all depends upon the company. But as of now, since last 1.5 to 2 years, everything is happening online. Even the candidates are joining into the company online only through virtual mode only, and even they're working from home. But things might change after 3 months, so I don't want to give any commitment.
Okay. So,
How
what
hiring
will
taking
be the
place?
process? Like, we have to send the resume to the institute, means to the company, or institute will send our resume to institute. Sorry, companies.
Basically, institute will take care of everything. Basically, uh, if you look from a fresher job perspective, your chance of getting a job through a institute is much bigger, much greater than you directly getting it, because companies trust institutes more than the individual ability. See, because when you apply yourself, the company don't know whether how is your quality of preparation. They don't know. But when you go through the institute, they know that you are trained. Companies know that you have minimum skill set that you will be able to perform. Whereas if you apply individually, there is a chance that company has always doubt, right, whether this person is trained, whether this person is good or not. They don't know. So hence you will have to apply through the institute most of the times, and you, of course, you can try yourself also. And we will be providing complete support in this whole process. What does it mean? Starting from how to prepare your resume, how to update your projects in the resume, till the time you get the job, we will continue to support you.
Okay. So, institute will provide the performance review of the candidate to the companies, right?
No. We won't provide any performance review. We will provide the performance review to you as a student. What will happen is, once you join the training, there will be regular assessment test will be there. As part of that, we categorize the candidates into 3 categories: the top performers, average performers, and the below average performers. It is possible, right? A batch can have all these kind of categories. So we make sure that the top performers is given the right feedback where he can do better. How can we make average performers get into the top category? How can we make a poor performance get into average category? So I mean, how can we take one level up? So the training will be focused in such a manner. So we won't give this feedback. I won't tell to the company that this is the top performance, this is a poor performance. That is only for internal assessment, and that is done in such a way that you do your assessment, self-assessment, and you try to improvise on the things where you need to do. And institute will always will give you that opportunity to do that. Does it answer your question?
So, could you please tell me what is the ratio of placements of online students who are learning online and offline students? So we can
Right
decide
now,
that whether to learn offline or online.
right now what is happening is, in last 1.5 year, our online training students is 90% and 10% are the offline students. That means if we have trained 200 students, 190 students or 180 students attended in online, 20 students attended in offline. There is no difference between placement in terms of online and offline student. The difference is how will you learn the things. You can be coming to classroom and you are not learning anything. You could be sitting online at home and you could be learning everything properly. So it is difficult for me to give you such a ratio. Overall ratio is, we have close to 90% placements in last 1.5 year. What do I mean by that is, just any serious candidate, I mean, who is serious about getting a job and who is serious about preparation, everyone has got job now. Now, if you ask me who is left out, people who don't have motivation, who are not willing to put effort, those are the people who are left out. Now, having said that, I cannot tell you that I cannot commit that the same thing will continue, because there might come a scenario after 1-2 years where the companies stop hiring for some or other reason. Some economic downturn happens, companies don't hire. I can't commit you anything on the job. Again, I'm repeating, I can't give you 100% commitment on the job. What I can assure you is we are well connected with the companies, and we will continue to give you the opportunity till you get job. It doesn't matter whether you attend course online, whether you attend course offline. But again, if you ask me, should I attend online or should I attend offline, I will always tell, please go for offline training, because that is a lot more effective. The trainer will be available anytime you want to interact, and you can clarify. But for those who are attending online, we will also make sure that you get that required support, required attention to help you.
Yeah, sir, I have one more question. Is there any company from the Pune or anyone placed from your institute to Pune company? Because I'm in the Pune location, so I'm looking for the Pune location only. Yeah, it will be
No, you
convenient.
should not go like that. No, it's not good to go like that, because as a fresher, you should be open to move anywhere. Let's say you are getting tomorrow, you are getting a good job opportunities in Noida, you should go. Let's say you are getting good opportunity in Hyderabad, you should go. Because if you look only by Pune location, there are only 5 companies or 4 or 5 companies in Pune. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. The chance of we getting a fresher opportunity from there and chance of you getting selected into those companies, we cannot give. We cannot really go by that kind of thing, right? So better to keep yourself open, work for 1 or 2 years in any company. Then after that, you start looking for specific opportunities in Pune itself.
Okay.
In summary,
Actually,
do not
yeah, actually, yeah, sir, I have passed in. Passed out on 2016 BE. Then after that, I have a gap of 3 years. I was preparing for the IAS engineering services. Then after that, I have joined IT companies, and right now I'm working as a front end developer in the IT industry. But my career was means I have graduated as in electronics. That's why I want to do this, join this course. So will it affect my career? Means past career in my journey of the entering into VLSI?
It won't affect. Again, it all comes down to how well you learn the things. See, I have known people who at the age of 42, 43 years also have got into VLSI. The person I'm talking, the context is, that person was an engineering college faculty in Chennai. And you know that generally these days, engineering college faculty is not well paid. Even someone with 15 years experience might be getting only 40 to 50,000 salary. There are such scenarios. And it is difficult to survive with that kind of salaries after 15 years of experience, actually. Okay. So then what these people do, they get into VLSI domain. So in that context, we have many students who come from this background. I'm talking about one such person here. I don't want to take his name. He came in September 2019 to us, and he joined DFT training. By September 2020, he had a job in DFT domain, and that was with a better salary. See, once you get into the VLSI industry, the salary grows. So to answer your question, for you, you're talking about only 5-6 years of gap. In that, it's not like you are sitting idle, you are doing something. So there is always a good chance that you can get into the industry and you can do well here. Now, if you ask me, well, will I do well? Will I get salary? All that, it depends upon you, how well you prepare and how well you plan your career growth.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
How are hiring taking place during this pandemic situation? Like compared with the Hyderabad, Bangalore, is hiring taking place on the same level as pre-pandemic, or like is there any changes that we have to do while learning?
Okay, I will tell you one thing. Whatever hiring that is happening in 2021 and the current period, last 2-3 months, it probably this kind of hiring never happened in history. If you don't believe my words, you talk to any of your friends who are working in the industry, not only VLSI, go to software, ask him how is the hiring in software. He will probably tell you that this is probably the best time of hiring that is happening. Now, for some or other reason, there is a lot of activity happening in the hardware and software domains now. A lot of projects are happening. Because of that, When I'm saying 90% hiring that is happening in the institute, I'm not joking. It is really happening. That is because the companies are hiring in bulk. These kind of hiring activity I have seen last time in 2017, where companies used to hire in bulk. After that, there was a downtime. 2019 was the bad time where very less hiring happened. Now again, back in 2021 and 22, the hiring is very good. So the hiring actually better than pre-pandemic level as of today. Any other questions?
No, so much.
Is Vishal will be the trainer for both theory and lab sessions?
No, actually, what happens? The basics training, initial 2 months of training will be done by a different staff, different people with their domain of expertise. Let's say digital design. We have a trainer who is expert in digital design. He will cover that. Let's say Linux will be covered by a different trainer. When it comes to the physical design main course, it could be Vishal with along with one more trainer will be handling the batch. Next, someone is asking a question. Varshita, how to decide to go for front end or back end? See, if you are interested in programming kind of job, you can go for front end domain. If you are not interested in programming kind of job, you can go for back end domain. But if you ask me where do I have a better chance of getting a job, I would say front end domain has some advantage over back end domain. Why? Let me tell you why. In front end domain, what happens is companies don't require any tools. Most of the things are freely available. So if I have to set up a company in front end domain, I can do without any money also. If I have the people who can do the job, I don't need any investment at all. Whereas to set up a company in back end domain, I require a lot of money to purchase the tools and do the things. So that is where it's easy for people to set up companies in front end domain. So that is where there are many startups who are into front end domain only. And these companies don't worry about percentages. They don't worry about a lot of things, because being startup, right, they hire people based on the talent. They don't go by percentages. That is where there is a front end has relatively more advantage compared to back end. Having said that, I'm not telling that there is no hiring in back end. Even hiring is there in back end also, but relatively front end is better than back end. But if you are interested in programming kind of job, you can go for front end, otherwise back end. And let's say you don't like programming, don't need to worry. We will be covering everything from the basics. Even if you go to back end, everything will be covered from the basics. I hope, Varshita, it answers your question.
Yeah, yes, sir. Sir, I have a doubt. Actually, I'm planning for masters next year. So, like in US, so should I go with is it okay to go with front end, or like what are the like job scopes in US? Like there are more options in front end or back end.
Okay, I'll tell you. See, you know that everything starts from the US only. Before the job opportunities came to India, the job opportunities originated in US, and then it came to India. That we have to accept. Even though we are from India and that's the other country, we have to accept that everything originated from US only. Talking about the opportunities, there are opportunities in both front end and back end, and even in US, there is a lot of hiring happening there also. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is that I can tell you is, you start off with front end domain, for example, right now. You do this for 1 month. If you like front end domain, if you like you will start with the programming and you will start doing it for 3-4 weeks. If you like it, you continue with it. If you don't like it, I will give you a flexibility to move to back end domain without paying any additional fee. Whatever fee you pay for front end will be adjusted for back end domain. You can do vice versa also. Let's say you join back end domain, you start learning basics of semiconductors, basics of physical design concepts, everything. After 1.5 months, let's say you don't like it, you can always move to front end domain. So vice versa, I can give you option. Anyway, you are planning to go for masters in the next year, right? You still have some time. So that time can be explored, decide between front end or back end. So institute has a flexibility there. We will give you that flexibility to move between one domain to other domain up to 1 month time.
Okay, got it, sir. Thank you.
Sir, if someone is having some hands-on with the programming, be it with Java or some Python like that, So how would it will be beneficial in this front-end domain? Like what level of programming we'll use? Like is there any specific program like Verilog,
Yeah.
VHDL, like that? I'm not aware actually. Just
Yeah, basically in VLSI front-end domain, we use Verilog, System Verilog, and UVM. Verilog is very similar to C programming. System Verilog is very similar to C++. UVM is very similar to Java. Like, what do you mean by similar? C++ is what? Tell me what is specialty about C++? Can you tell me, Rakesh?
like we'll be using objects, classes and objects.
Yes. So in System Verilog also, it is also an object-oriented programming language. Now, what is specialty about Java? It is built on top of
It is advanced. Yeah.
C++ advanced. Same way in front end also, UVM is advanced version of System Verilog. It is built on top of System Verilog. So if you have any expertise in any kind of programming language, then front end should be a natural choice for you. Even though it's a PD demo, I am not because I'm a founder. For me, it doesn't matter which course you join. But if you have any kind of programming interest, or if you have any prior programming expertise, front-end domain is a good domain for you. But as I said before, some time back, you always have flexibility to move to the other domain without any additional cost. If you don't like, you can always, yeah. Any other questions? So what about analog?
Less than 60%.
Sorry, one second, Soumya. What about analog layout? See, Soumya, we will be doing a dedicated training for analog. There will be a dedicated demo session for analog layout. Our admin will send you the schedule for that. See, generally what happens, a lot of people come with, come for this backend training, right? So what we do this kind of common training for all these backend interested students. This demo session is for students who are looking for PD training, students who are looking for STA training, students who are looking for custom layout training, all those domains. We will be conducting a dedicated session for you, demo session for you for layout. Next, if I want to join online course and switch between offline course, you can do that. Let's say 1 week you can come online, 1 week you can attend offline. Like that, 6 months you can switch 10 times. I'm not going to question you why you are attending online, and I'm not going to question you why you are coming to classroom also. We will give you that complete flexibility, because for me it doesn't matter. At the end, I have to go by your convenience rather than my convenience. So I hope it answers your question. Someone is asking, will it help in building LinkedIn profile? See, LinkedIn profile requires only creating yourself, right? All that you require in LinkedIn profile is what? The project description. What kind of things you have learned? That details will provide you. If you still need some dedicated support where someone sits with you and help you create LinkedIn profile, we can do that for you. Lakshmi Narayan, I hope it helps you.
What about regarding who has less than 59, less than 60%?
See, someone who has less than 60%, I don't suggest you to go for backend courses. Okay, I don't suggest you to go for physical design course. What happens is, most of the times, all these companies who have been visiting for hiring physical design students, they have been at least asking for 60% plus. So there is a very minimal chance that you will get an opportunity in physical design if you have scored less than 60%. In that context, I strongly encourage you to go for front-end domain training, because as I said sometime before, there are some startups, at least around 10 to 15 startups in front-end domain, where they don't worry about your percentage. They only hire you based on your interview performance. So in that case,
then 60% that I have.
One second. Please let me complete. So in that case, what happens is, without worrying about your percentage, you can just focus on your training, and based on your performance, the company can hire. And at least you will be able to start off with your career. Because in PD, the problem that you will face is, let's say Capgemini is coming. They are having requirement for 60% plus. Even if the candidate has 59.2%, they won't hire. Because for them, it's a rule that they should not go below 60%. So if anyone is there with below 60%, I ask them to think multiple times before joining into PD course. Okay, if someone was asking question, please ask.
Sir, if I have a less than 60%, but I have done MTech with 8 CGPA, then sir?
Then also it's difficult because sometimes companies ask throughout the career. They don't just ask highest degree. They ask throughout the career, it should be 60% plus.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And let's say if you are passionate about physical design, yes, you can do. Otherwise, my suggestion would be front end domain. Don't mind, I don't have any specific reason to push you into front end domain, but what I have seen is it was easy because I did had many scenarios where people had less percentages and they were able to at least start the career. See, what happens in the industry is once you start up the career, your percentage doesn't matter. After 2 years, even if you have 45%, companies won't ask you how much is your percentage. They'll ask you what kind of projects you have worked on, what is your expertise. So that way you will be able to. You can move to the better companies. But the problem with less than 60% in physical design is you won't be able to even get that initial opportunities.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Please ask.
Sir, I have 66 is there, but I am interested in a PD.
Yeah.
It is okay, suitable, no?
It is suitable. See, I am telling you, any time you have 60% plus.
Just I am asking, sir. I am asking.
Yeah,
One
you
of
won't,
my friend, he placed in L&T, so he suggested this VLSIGuru.
Yeah.
He got the job in January only, so he suggested go for a PD, and I informed to him 66%. So that's why I'm just for confirmation.
That won't be a
I'm
problem.
asking.
You will get the opportunity. That won't be a problem.
Because 66.7 is there, so that's why.
Yeah, that won't be a problem because anytime you have more than 60%, sometimes more, like you said, 65% is also better than 65% is even better. Let's say someone has more than 70%, it's even better. So like that, there is no stop. Like then I will say 95% is even better, right? So somewhere it stops. That stopping point is generally 60%. You can keep cutoff as 60%. If you have less than 60%, I strongly discourage you from joining physical design training because companies won't shortlist your profile in many cases.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Any other questions? If someone is from tier 3 college, but he's good percentage overall, he's interested in core electronics, that's why he wants to go with physical design. What is the chance of? See, there is nothing like tier 1 college, tier 2 college, and tier 3 college. There is nothing like that. Hiring always happens on your performance, how well you learn. So if you perform well, you can do that. I mean, whatever example I gave you 15 minutes back, a person who was working at 4.5 lakh salary, he moved into a job where he is getting 19.5 lakhs. Only thing I can't do is I can't reveal his name. Okay, I reveal the company names also to you. Okay, only thing it means that he is not from any tier 1 college, or he is not from any NIT or anywhere. Okay, or IIT for that matter. Okay, based on his performance, he moved. So once you join into the company, your college doesn't matter at all. Your performance matters. Your attitude matters. Okay, I hope it answers your question, Bhavesh. Manohar, yeah. Manohar, yes, online classes will be available. I told you, right, the course is available in both offline and online. You can join the mode of training based on your convenience. Let's say if you are looking for weekends only course, it is also available. I told you, right, sometime back I told you that initial 2 months will be mix of live training plus recorded videos, because I can't do everything only on the weekends. See, basics I can't do only during the weekends, like digital design, Linux. If I do that, overall course goes for 6 to 7 months, which we cannot do. So hence the basic 2 months course will be mix of recorded videos plus live training over the weekends. The 4 months will be completely a live training for you. So this applies for both online and offline courses, because I told you, right, the same course is always offered in online and offline. Manohar, I hope it answers your question.
Hello.
One second.
Yeah.
Okay. Please ask.
Yeah, sir. Is there any training for the scripting languages like Python, Perl, or Tickle, as it is the industrial requirement right now,
I will.
or we need to
I'll,
join another courses for the same?
no. You don't need to join other course. When you join the 6 months of physical design training, we will be teaching you TCL training. Now, once you learn TCL, between TCL, Perl, and Python, 70% similarities are there. That means the way you define the variables, way you write the arrays, way you use regular expressions, the way you use functions and the object-oriented programming is all common between TCL, Perl, and Python. Hence, if I teach you TCL, you will be able to learn Perl all by yourself. So as part of this course, we'll be teaching you TCL. And I mean, the training will be very in-depth. I mean, we'll teach you all the aspects of TCL, and there will be multiple examples where we'll be making you do the assignments related to each and every topic. Assignments like related to regular expression, list, dictionaries, many topics, right? So I'm probably going deep into TCL, but all I'm trying to tell is you don't have to join any other course. It is all part of the 6 months of training. I told you, right? The 2 months I have included TCL, so that will be covered as part of that. Now, if you ask me why
For first
why
2 months
Perl
there
is,
is basic, right?
let me complete. Why Perl is not taught is you don't want to teach too many things. Otherwise, what happens if I start teaching anything, everything, you will get confused. We need to teach the things which are essential for you to learn enough skill set to get a job. Yeah, please ask.
Okay. So for initial 2 months there are basics, right? So is there any lab session for the same? Because I'm working right now, so I have to manage my office timings with the same. So which
We will
batch
do
will be
the
convenient for?
initial 2 months. Labs will happen over the weekends. Whatever support you need, we'll provide the support over the weekends. We will have a dedicated trainer with whom you can be connected, and he will help you do the labs. See, when I say labs, what do I mean by labs? Let's say you are doing TCL, Linux. So there will be some trainer who will make sure that you practice all the commands of Linux, and he will give you some assignments, and under his guidance, you will be doing the labs. Same thing will be for TCL also. Now, when it comes to digital design, there is nothing like labs, right? It will be more like a problem solving. I will ask you, implement a mod 6 counter using JK flip-flop. You will be doing it. The trainer will make sure that whatever support you need, he will provide the support to you. Okay. In this context, as I told you, one second, I'll come. In this context, as I said, you will be getting access to the recorded videos, right? These videos will be quite elaborate. If you are just able to sit focused on those videos, you will be able to learn 90% of the things. And you will require only support with the remaining 10%. I mean, you can trust my words also, because these are all our videos and we have very well structured way of creating these videos. So you won't find any issues with these things, content and the way quality, the way the videos have been delivered, everything. That remaining 10 to 15% support you will get over the weekends.
Okay. And when this batch and the next batch is going to start? Weekly batches?
The next batch will start, like this batch is starting, today is like a demo session. Either tomorrow or day after tomorrow we'll be starting with the batch. The next batch will be either 1st or 2nd of May, whichever is the Saturday.
Okay.
But my
And
suggestion,
if I opt for the weekly batches, then can I access the lab sessions for the weekends?
you don't need to, because you will be attending anyway the lab sessions over the weekdays, right?
Okay.
Then why do you want to duplicate? Let's say you attended demo session now. I'll be doing demo session again in the afternoon, for example. Will you want to attend that again?
No.
No, right? It will be basically like wasting your time. So hence you won't need to attend that. But what I'm telling is the institute will be open to support you. I mean, what we do is whenever you have any specific requirement, we have told our admin, our staff in the institute, that make sure that everything is addressed. I am not just telling for the sake of telling, because for me as a founder of the institute, the student's satisfaction is the foremost priority. I have to make sure that every student learns and every student becomes so capable that he or she is able to get a job. So for that, they will require a lot of support from the institute. So I have told all my staff, starting from the manager till the admin in the institute. I have told each and everyone that address each student's requests on priority. So you will get the support. Whatever, let's say you need some dedicated sessions with a trainer for one of the lab sessions, one of the assignment solving, you will get a support for that. And that is probably, you might get similar feedback when you talk to any of our students, ex-students also. Any other questions?
Will there be any doubt session in doubts?
I told you, today we did a session. Tomorrow session will start at 9:30. 9:30 to 10 o'clock, it will be a doubt session. Let's say you are working today, whatever doubts you have, you write down those doubts. Tomorrow you can always ask those questions. You can also ask your questions in the WhatsApp group. But generally we encourage doubt sessions in the group, because if I spend 1 hour clarifying your doubts, rather it is better for me to spend same 1 hour with a group of people so that everyone learns from those doubts. Correct, right?
Yeah,
So
actually today you have resolved all my doubts, so I just had a thought that will it be same till the end of the course? That's why I asked.
No, it will be like that only, because whatever I have to do in terms of monetary terms, I have done it for my life. Okay.
Yes.
For me, there is a stage where it has come to a point where I have to live up to my reputation. I mean, reputation, I'm not telling that I'm any big guy, but I have to keep up some reputation where people identifies the institute and people identifies my name by whatever it is. So at that point, I have to live up to some my words, right? So whatever is the best possible support I can do, I will do that. So I will, I mean, because it's a business, it doesn't end one day, right? It's not that I have to start today and tomorrow I have to close. It has to run, that runs based on how well we provide the support to the students. So we continue to do that. There are always times where we need to improvise on it. We will continue to do that. At the end, everything will be student centric. I mean, we'll try to make sure that things are more beneficial to the student. That will continue to do. But having said all this, I'm never giving any 100% commitment on job or anything, because why I'm repeating so many things so many times is people should not be under the wrong assumption that I join the course, I'll get a job. That I don't want to give wrong assumption. A lot of factors are there. How well you prepare, how well you learn the things, your attitude, a lot of things makes a difference. Otherwise, from the institute side, we will continue to support. I have told you, right? I have given the same instructions to all my students. Raghavendra, please be in mute. Raghavendra, please be in mute. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, someone has asked a question. 12th, I got 56. After that, I got 67%. As I told you, if you have in any of your part of your career, if you have less than 60%, I strongly discourage you to join from PD course. Don't take me wrongly, because we had such scenarios where companies won't shortlist at all. Let's say Capgemini comes to us and says, throughout academics, we want 50%. They won't accept if I say this guy has. So good afternoon, sir. Yeah, one second. I'll answer this question then. Does it answer your question? The person who has asked.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, so my suggestion is, why don't you start off with front-end domain? You attend for 1 month. Maybe your fear is, I won't be able to learn the program. That might be your fear, right? But you don't know, right? Our teaching style could be quite different. I may even make your programming interesting. The way you learn programming, way you do the things, I may even make it interesting for you. There is nothing wrong in trying. You try for 1 month. Okay. So my suggestion is, if anyone has less than 60% in any part of your academics, you join for front end. You try for 1.5 months also, no problem. After that, if you feel that, no, I'm not able to cope up with programming, I'm finding it very difficult, then I will give you option to choose backend domain, and there is no additional cost for that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so someone, may I know your name? My name is Srinivasa Reddy. Okay, I am the founder of the institute, and I own I'm the main trainer for the front end domain, along with my supporting trainers. Now, difference between PD and front end course. As the name suggests, PD means physical design. It comes under the backend domain. Being a backend domain, it won't involve any programming kind of expertise. The front-end domain is more programming-oriented job. You will have to be good with the programming skills like Verilog, System Verilog, and UVM. All those things will be covered as part of the front-end course.
Good afternoon.
Someone, yeah, please ask me. Yeah.
Sir, myself, Dr. M. Raghavendra, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, I completed my BTech 2006, sir, MTech 2012, and my completed PhD 2020, sir.
Yeah.
Can I join the course, sir? Is there because I have some discontinues in the BTech and MTech. After that, in between that, I have some teaching experience, sir. Now I am also working as assistant professor in Karnool, sir.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing this detail. Let me answer your question. There are two perspectives in which I can answer your question. The first perspective is, since you have completed your PhD and currently you are working as an assistant professor, for you to grow in your career as a professor, you will have your learning has to be relevant with what is happening in the industry. That is where the college finds your skill set more useful. So what is happening in the industry currently? Most happening thing is VLSI. It could be front end or it could be back end. So by learning these things, you will be relevant in your college and you will be relevant to the students. I mean, whatever teaching you do, that will be more relevant to the current times. That is the first thing. So you will be able to teach all this physical design to your BTech students or MTech students. So you can give value addition to the student. That is the first aspect. Let's say second aspect is you want to get into the VLS job. If you ask me, is it possible? Answer is always yes. I mean, let me tell you one thing. Even if someone is 50 years old, even if someone is 50-year-old and they want to get into VLSI, there is always a chance for you to get into the industry. But as I said again, answer is not like binary. You will get or you will not get. It all depends upon how well you prepare and what is your attitude. I mean, how good you are with the subject. And I can tell you one more thing also. Let's say you become so good with the subject, I can myself offer the job with a better salary in the institute itself. Even a lot of faculty who work in our institute are engineering college faculty only. We hire them, we train them, we update them for our requirements, and we make sure that they become some of our trainers. So we can as well do that. So in your case, Raghavendra, my suggestion is it's always good for you to upgrade yourself to the things that are happening in the current market. That way you stay relevant in your college. You always have a chance of moving to the industry because there are people who have done it. Does it answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, one more thing, sir. One more thing, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can I join the front end or back end, sir? Which is more preferable for us?
No, again, same question I have answered. That if you are interested in, have you done any C++ programming before?
I know only C, sir.
See, how do you rate yourself with C? Let's say on scale of 10, how do you rate?
4, sir. Out of 10, I can rate only 4.
So in that case, my suggestion, let's say join front end domain. You try for 1 month. Anyway, for you, you had so much gap, right? Let's say 12 years since you have completed, 10 years since time you have completed MTech. For you, another 1 month is not going to make a big difference.
Okay.
So join front end domain. If you like it, you continue with front end domain. Otherwise, you can join into back end domain.
Okay.
That's the best suggestion I can give you because I can't tell you come and join PD, come and join verification. You join either of that. Let's say you can as well join backend domain. You see how is your experience with backend domain. If you like it, you continue. Otherwise, you switch to front end domain. I'll give you that opportunity.
Okay, sir.
I hope it.
Thank you, sir.
Someone is asking in Bangalore, where is the offline classes will be held? See, our office is in Banaswadi. To tell you in terms of outer ring road, our institute is on the outer ring road only. From once you get down, see, you need to, if you are, I think most of you who are in Bangalore would be aware of Marathahalli Bridge. And you probably will be aware of Tin Factory bus stop on outer ring road. So from Tin Factory bus stop, our institute is 3 kilometers. So you will be able to get down on the outer ring road and walk to the institute in 2 minutes time. So the exact address you can find it on the institute website. It is very well accessible through the buses. You will get every minute you will get one bus to reach to any part of the Bangalore from our institute. What about projects done in the institute? There will be 2 projects done, Shahid. We will be doing one project on multi-voltage domain physical design implementation. Other project will be based on chip level implementation project. So that will give you exposure to both block level implementation and chip level implementation. And both these projects will be done at 14 nanometer technology. That will make sure that your training and whatever you learn is relevant to what is happening in the industry right now. Any other questions? I may have missed out some questions. You can repost your questions. You can post your questions again in the chat window in case I have missed out any of your questions.
Yes, sir. How can I get the?
One second. One of you, please go ahead.
Sir, when the verification course will start, sir?
Verification course is starting tomorrow. Yesterday we had a demo session. We have done the demo session. Today we took a break for enrollment completion. Tomorrow we are starting. Now how it works is, actually speaking, for both front end and back end domain, PD and the verification, the verification domain, the initial 3 weeks of training will be common, because we will have to teach you Asic flow, we'll have to teach you digital design, we'll have to teach some basic fundamentals, which is common for both the domains. So both the courses will start simultaneously. So you won't find any difference for initial 2 to 3 weeks actually.
Okay. If I have missed the demo for the verification, sir, then?
You can go through the video. See, like the way I'm recording this session, the yesterday session is also recorded and it is available in our YouTube, I think, channel, right? You can go to the YouTube channel and go through the recorded video of the yesterday session.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions? Yeah, someone was asking.
Hi, sir.
Yes. How can I get the fee structure?
I told you, right? The fee structure for the 6 months course is 45,000 plus GST. If you are only looking for 4 months of advanced course, that is also going to start from next week onwards. That will cost you 37,000 plus GST. 6 months is 45. The 4 months course is 37,000.
Okay, so the fee should be paid one time, or I can pay it in installments also?
You can pay, basically the fee can be paid in installment manner. Initially you pay 5,000. Let's say today or tomorrow, whenever you are interested, you pay 5,000 and start off with the course. You confirm your seat. The remaining fee need to be paid in 2 installments. That installment will be one installment after the 10 days of the enrollment. The second installment will be after 1.5 months after the first installment. My suggestion to you, in case someone is interested, and my suggestion is, please don't take a lot of days, because see what happens, in case you are interested and you have decided, please enroll as soon as possible. The reason is, if you miss 3 days of training, let's say you think that no, let me wait till Thursday and let me enroll on Thursday. See, the problem that happens is you miss the sessions from whatever happens, let's say Monday to Wednesday. To catch up those sessions, you will have to miss Thursday session. That will continue, that will keep happening for you. So it is better to enroll. So that is where you can pay 5,000 amount, confirm your enrollment. Later you can pay the installment.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Is there any calendar provided to us regarding the daily sessions, or only we will get through mail? Because we can get some.
I'll tell you. If you enroll for the course, we will be creating a WhatsApp group in which all will be added. All the students will be added. All the updates will be provided. The schedule, the course material, everything. Someone is asking a question regarding videos, how videos and everything. Everything will be through our portal. We have a e-learning portal like inskill.in. You can also browse now. Inskill, in as in India, in skill.india in. That link is where we have, that is our learning platform, e-learning platform. There you will get access to all the materials and all the videos. Someone is, Karthik is asking a question.
Sir, introduce.
One second. I'll answer Karthik question, then I'll answer your question. Suppose we opted for online course during the lab session, can we come to offline class? I told you, right? You can join any mode of training any day. Today you can come for online, tomorrow you can come offline. Again, day after tomorrow you can do offline. I'm not going to question you because in both the modes of training, the fee is same, support is same, the job opportunities is same. There is no difference. Finally, we will go by your convenience. Karthik, I hope it answers your question.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. So someone, Girish is asking a question. I completed my BTech in 2019. I'm certified at 2021. That in that gap. Okay. I worked in Schneider Electric company this month only. I resigned. You can still get in Girish into VLSI. What you need to tell? I mean, how can you frame your profile better? Is you need to tell that in the Schneider Electric, you are part of a chip design team.
Right.
Okay. Now, Schneider Electric being a big company, you can always tell that there was a chip design division, right? They can develop their own chips. So you need to tell that for last whatever you worked at Schneider Electric, you should tell that you are part of the VLSI team, and whichever domain you get in training, let's say training in front end domain or physical design domain, you say that you have worked in Schneider Electric in that domain, and with that experience, if you try, you will get a lot more opportunities. And you will be able to get into the job also. There won't be any problem. Does it answer your question?
Sir, who would be the trainer for PD basically? Like, is it you or anyone?
No. See, I am into front end domain. When it comes to the basics, I'll be part of some of the basics trainings. When it comes to the main training, we have multiple trainers. Like one of the trainer is the person who is teaching you. He, along with other trainers, like we have another trainer by name Jiaul, and a lot of people who are looking for training would be aware of Jiaul. I mean, he is one of the well-known person in the training circles. And we have other peoples like Srinivas. They will all be, one of these trainers will be providing the training to you. But irrespective of who provides the training, these all trainers come with a passion for teaching. And the institute has a well-structured plan that ensures that there won't be any gap in the learning, irrespective of the trainer. And all these trainers I'm talking about, they're all working in the product companies. Any other questions? Yeah, Girish, you can call us on this number. I'll give you my number. If you still have any questions, you can call us on this number. I've given the number. Any other questions that I missed out?
Sir,
Rakesh, I hope.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
sir.
please go. Yeah.
Sir, I decided to start my classes at April 1st only.
Yeah.
Before we need to pay amount for attending in this month, what are the classes happen? We need to pay, otherwise you'll give access, or I need to pay after only you'll give access for this before 3 days, sir.
Generally what happens, it is better for you to pay 5,000 and confirm your enrollment so that your seat can be confirmed. Now we can provide the access from tomorrow itself. That won't be a problem. Now if you are asking,
Actually, I visited last month only nearby Ramurthy Nagar Signal one VLSIGuru Institute also.
Yeah.
So already I spoken with that. I forgot the sir name.
Vaibhav.
Yeah. Sorry, forgot the sir name. But I already concerned that sir. Okay, no problem, because my salary will come at first only. So that's why I am asking this request for. I need to pay on first.
You can call us offline. I can tell you what is the best.
Okay, sorry, sir. This number is yours. I will make you call.
You can call that number. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Any
you.
other questions? Okay. My name is Srinivas. Okay. I am interested PD when to start the next, because right now I'm studying BTech 4th year. I can't manage both. You can start. As I told you, the batches start once every 5 weeks. So the next batch, as I said, will start around 2nd of May. After that, the next batch will be 2nd of May, 2nd of June or 4th of July, 4th of June. Like that, you keep counting 5 weeks, you will get the dates. So you can accordingly plan your joining. Otherwise, I have one suggestion, Pawan. You can just start off with the physical design basics self-learning course, which you can go through at your own convenience. Now, whenever you want to join the live training, you can rejoin the same course without any additional cost at that time. That way, whatever time you get during the 4th semester, you will be able to utilize going through those videos. And let's say you want to rejoin in July, you can rejoin the complete basic course at no additional cost at that time. Any other questions? Okay. Let us do one thing. We will. I think I have answered most of your questions. So Vishal, what is your plan now? Can we take a 10 minutes break and just you can wind up by telling what is the scope of learning for them, what we might be doing in PD, these aspects. Do you think that would be a right idea, Vishal?
Yes, sir. I'll just go through an overview of it after the 10 minutes break.
Yes, sir. So let's take it, everyone. Let's take a 10 minutes break. In case you still have any queries related to the institute process, the course structure, everything, I have given my number there. You please feel free to call us and I can answer those. Related to the technical things, please talk to the trainer and make sure that you get the clarity on that. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So let's meet in 10 minutes, everyone.
Hello, my Muni. Hello.
Yeah, someone had a question. Muni, please tell me.
Sir.
Hello, everyone. Is everyone is present?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's get back to the demo perspective. I hope so all your concepts related to, or let's say like your confusions related to your institute side is got cleared. All right.
Yes.
All right. So let's get back into this particular um, demo, in which I'll take a max of 10 to 15 minutes. It's because almost we have done all that particular front end perspective, and it's just like a back end overview. We'll just look into it, and then we will be closing our session. So, okay, next. Till whatever we have discussed so far is like kind of a full like a logical entity. Am I right? Irrespective of the physical information, all that we have discussed is like with respect to logical terms. Acceptable? Now, when we are going to now is like see about the backend flow. Okay, so when we are discussing about backend, okay, from few will be saying is like from synthesis to the STA is called as a backend. Okay, from synthesis to STA, it's called as a backend. And few will be saying is like PD is like a backend. The reason is because from this synthesis stage, your technology dependent files will be coming into picture. Okay, technology dependent from this particular synthesis. Prior to this particular synthesis, it's irrespective of the technology. Okay, so from this particular synthesis, what happens is it will convert that particular behavioral code to a gate level netlist format. That is, here I have written a basic AND gate, right? Instead of using, okay, so as the tool knows, this is also an AND gate implementation. It will convert this particular logical code into an AND gate representation. So for that, we need to provide some special inputs. Okay, we need to provide some special inputs. Then what the tool will try to do is, it will convert this particular logical entity to its equivalent gated format that will convert the technology dependent, okay, behavioral code, that is, or let's say RTL code to gate level netlist. Synthesis will be majorly for performing this step, RTL code to gate level netlist. So when we are telling this particular RTL code to gate level netlist, how the tool is converting it, okay, how the tool is converting it is what we need to more focus on it. Okay, it runs in 3 different stages. I won't go in depth. It takes 3 stages: analyze, elaborate, and compile. These are the 3 major steps of your synthesis. If you execute these 3 steps, your synthesis is done. Frankly, okay, synthesis is done. Clear so far? Now, okay, so analyze means what the tool will try to do here is, okay, it will check for the syntax errors. Okay, checks for the syntax. And when we are telling about elaborate, here what it will try to do here is, when we are converting this RTL code to gate level netlist, Intermediate stage itself, I want an intermediate stage to make sure that each and every representation has an information to it. Okay, so for example, let's say like this. When you want to call a person, okay, let's say, okay, Google, call father. When you're telling that, the contact has to be present, right? So first you will make sure that the contact is saved, and then only you're going to be telling that, okay, Google, call father. If you don't have that particular contact available, then what that Google will give you? Understanding? Or did I go too fast? Yeah, okay. So when we don't have a contact and we are asking the Google to call him or call her, it will throw us an error that there is no contact by such. So it will give you an recording like that. So similar, that is like a small example. But similarly, when we are taking a bigger example, okay, when we go like a bigger code, what happens to find out that particular error itself? I need to debug more. Okay, to find out exactly which representation is causing me an issue, I need to debug more. So to avoid that, okay, so to avoid that, what we are going to do here is in elaborate stage, the RTL code is converted to GTEC format. That means GTEC means global technology related. Okay, here also it's not completely technology dependent. Okay, He- based on that particular tool dependent files, okay, based on that particular tool has some default files, some libraries, some header files. So based on that particular files, the tool will start to convert the behavioral code to a global technology dependent gate level format, and it will start looking for each and every function call. Is there a function definition or not? The tool will start seeing in that elaborate stage. Okay, now RTL code to GTEC format. So here also no optimization, or let's say like it's just a conversion to make sure that each and every call has its function. And next here, compilation. The GTEC, whatever the tool has converted, that is in the elaborate stage, is converted to gate level netlist by performing optimizations. So in after this compile stage, there is a chance of naming change also. Okay, the name change can happen during this particular compile stage because it is trying to optimize new cells might insert. Okay, for optimization, or let's say like for better timing. Okay, what the tool will try to do is it will try to optimize that particular cells. It will okay, it will insert some cells. So when I'm telling here cells, I'm referring to some logical gates. Okay, basic, or let's say like universal gates, and or XOR inverter, and also buffers. Okay, buffers, inverters, like that. There will be some commonly used cells are there, right? So the tool will try to optimize all that and insert it based on the required. Okay, that will be done in the compile stage for better timing. That is what our focus will be here. Clear so far? Right. So next, all the inputs which I have provided in the synthesis. Okay, so when you're talking about backend, right? So let's say inputs perspective, we will be having an information of netlist. So I'll modify that particular. I'll just write it common for synthesis and PD, and later on you have to adjust it. Let's say like for synthesis, this is the RTL netlist is the input. For PD, gate level netlist is the input. So like that, you are going to be updating it. So I'm just giving is the extensions. So later on, I'll give the details of let's say like full form of it as well. So now let's see in depth of this netlist. When we are telling about netlist, and when we are talking about synthesis stage, here the netlist will be RTL code. Okay, the input will be RTL code. And when you're talking about physical design, the input will be gate level netlist. RTL for synthesis and gate level is for PD. Okay, next, lib or liberty file. Okay, lib or liberty file, we can also state it like library file, also logical library. Logical library file. So now what information it holds is timing information. Timing, power and area information. Left is also called as layout exchange format, which is also called as physical library info. So here you will be having shape, sorry, I forgot to mention here, timing, power, functionality and area. Shape and location of pins. Okay, next SDC, which is already we have written out earlier. What we have written, what is the full form of SDC? It was covered few minutes back only, right? Okay, SDC is synopsis design constraint. So what this file will be holding is, what does this file hold? Timing information of the design. Okay, so SDC means synopsis timing information. It will hold the timing information of the design. So next is UPF. So what does UPF will hold? So here we were discussing about CLP, right? So the CLP, multi-voltage or power consumption reduction techniques, those constraints will be having in this particular UPF, and the full form is Unified Power Format. Okay, multi-voltage constraints. ScanDef holds the scan chain information. I'm just giving all the overview, okay, because when you go in that next sessions, you will be getting more details, you will be getting cleared it. Guys, any questions, any confusions, or I'm going fast?
No, sir.
Okay, TF is technology file. So it holds the layers information. Okay, layers information. So let's say like transmission lines. Power transmission lines are available. So most probably you will be seeing outside your homes pole through that particular post. So when you see in that, they are providing some gapping and they are trying to provide that particular lines, right? They are copper lines or whatever the transmit power lines, they are passing through that particular with some spacings. So on what basis they are calculating those spacings? Based on that particular current density and passing through that particular wire, and also based on the external factors, based on the width of that particular wire, on all that particular criteria, they will be providing spacing between the wires such that they should not be shorted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so similarly, when we are talking about PD perspective, we will be having layers information. Okay, each and every layer will be having tracks. Okay, each and every layer will be having tracks. Those tracks on, or let's say like on that particular tracks only you will start routing. For example, breadboard. Okay, in that particular breadboard, when you open it, you will be seeing some copper wires, right? Horizontally or vertically. Observed it? Did anyone open it and see it? Breadboard?
Yes.
All right. So in that also they have provided some spacings and they have placed some copper wires. So all that particular spacing between those particular copper wires is calculated based on all this, based on the current density passing through it, based on the external factors. Okay, based on all that particular factors, they are pacing that particular with some spacing. When we are talking here also, you will be seeing that type of copper wires only. no insulation between them. Okay, that is like when you're manufacturing, there will be an insulating will be placed, but when we are talking here, okay, when we are talking here, theoretically, you will be having is like copper wires between that particular metals. Okay, layer by layer, multiple tracks will be present. On that particular tracks only, coppers will be placed. Okay, so now each and every layer on that layer, between each and every track, the spacing, the width of that track, everything will be defined in this particular technology file. Okay, the specifications of the physical implementation of the wire will be present in this particular technology file. Okay, now layers information, multiple vias information, all that will be present in this particular technology file. Okay, so when I'm telling here a via, when you want to drop, okay, when you drop a connection from top to bottom, so let's say like you're having an apartment. In that particular apartment, your power has to be connected from top to bottom or bottom to top. You want a power connection. Then what you will try to do? You will drop some pipes, right? All right, connecting pipes, and in that particular connecting pipes, you will use multiple wires. Same concept here also. Okay, here that particular pipes from top to bottom we are connecting, right? Those are called as vias. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now next is TLUP. TLUP is the information holding about table lookup plus, okay, or we can also table lookup plus or parasitic, table lookup for parasitic. So when we are telling this particular file, it will hold for each and every metal, okay, or let's say like for each and every layer, not metal, for each and every layer, what is the R, L, and C values. For each metal layer, what will be the parasitic information that will be provided through this particular TLUP. Okay, so most probably you will be more focusing on this particular inputs initially. Okay, getting more detailed information and in the advanced classes. So you will go through this PD basics also, you will be having an understanding of these inputs, and also you will be getting an information in the PD perspective advanced classes also. Okay, now sorry, coming back to the PD flow. So synthesis flow is clear, right? Resistance, inductance, and capacitance. When you want to when you're telling about any wire, right, what you will be majorly focusing on? R, L, and C. Whenever you take a circuit also, what is the resistance? What is the capacitance? What is the inductance? How much current passing through it? That is what you will be learning, right? In the engineering also, when you want to draw a circuit. It's not just a wire. For that particular wire, what will be the R, L, and C? So that information will be present in the TLUP. I'm sorry. Can I move forward? If no questions. Okay, taking the silence as yes. And now coming back to this particular PD perspective. So what happens is when we are telling PD, okay, when we are discussing about PD, right? What is the major focus is like how we are going to be implementing a design into a chip. So you said, right, more number of transistors placed in a smaller area for an IC. Okay, so indirectly, we are not going to be playing with respect to the transistor level. We are going to be playing with respect to a cell level. So a cell can be of any category. That means it can be either a gate, or it can be a flip-flop, or it can be a register, or it can be any cell which is of logic. Clear? Now,
Yes, sir.
now moving back. So let's see where you what happens is when it comes to PD perspective, there will be a derived area present for you. In that particular area, you have to place that particular design. Okay, in that particular area, you will be placing your complete design. It can be of any shape. Okay, it can be of any shape. So it's not only a rectangular or square. So it can be any puzzle shape design also. In that particular puzzle shape design, whatever you get, you need to place that particular cell. Okay, place your complete design, whatever the design you are trying to implement, you have to place it. So now this is where there is a small difference between analog design and a physical design. So now when you're telling about analog design, right, they will be designing for a specific gate level. Okay, let's say like for let's say like transistor level, they will be working. When you're talking about uh, analog designing, they will be majorly focused on that particular stick diagram based implementation. But when it comes to a PD perspective, you will be using the cells developed by that particular analog team into your design. And based on that, if you see any irregularities, you will take their help and you will ask the fix. Clear so far? Now, when we are telling, I'm just commonly saying is like a cell. So when we are telling about cell, right, there are two categories here. That is, one is macro and the second one is standard cell. Okay, macro and a standard cell. So and there are in macro itself, there are two categories, digital and analog. Okay, when you're talking about macro, there are of two categories, analog and digital. And when you're talking about standard cells, It can be either a combinational or a sequential cells. Okay, commonly used combinational or sequential cells. And when you're talking about macros, right, there are the bigger blocks of your design. That means the processors, RAMs, for example, RAMs, ROMs, memories, SRAM, DRAM. So like that, whatever is available, bigger blocks, those are called as macros. Okay, those are called as macros. So it is again based on who is the vendor to you. So mostly every company is not going to be developing a macro. What they will do is they will buy it. Let's say like I have a macro and you are designing a chip and you want to use that particular macro, you will buy from me. Okay, you will buy from me and you will use it in your design. At the same time, I should provide support also. Okay, I should provide support. If you face any issue, you will come back to me. I'll provide a fix and you will do it. So like that, macro designers also have a scope. Okay, macro designers, analog designers, PD, synthesis, STA. So like that, different stages are present in the backend. So most probably you know is like analog designing and only PD. But no, there are also macro designers also present. Okay, now coming back to our concept. So in this particular starting design planning stage, what the top level, or let's say like what the design it will do in this particular stage we will do is, there are two types of owners. Okay, there are two types of owners, that is block level owner and a chip level owner. Okay, chip level owner, for example, chip level owner is like your phone, is the phone owner, and block level owner is like camera module, one owner, network module, one owner, video, one owner, processing unit, one owner. So in your phone itself, I can divide it and provide it to different owners to implement that particular phone faster. Okay, so most probably when we go as a fresher or an experienced up to 5 years, you might end up as a multiple block owners. For fresher, it will be like one block owner, and based on your performance, you might handle 3 to 4 blocks also. It's not a wrong. That means like you are doing very good. Okay, 3 to 4 blocks also you might own, and you have to implement all those particular blocks parallelly. Okay, now that means area they will provide you, and in that particular area, how to place it. Okay, for example, civil engineers, what we will do, we will provide them the area and we will provide our idea. According to that, what they are going to do, they are going to be implementing that particular shape, how that house has to be constructed perfectly, whether it is 2-story building or 3-story or a single individual house. Everything they will be planning the rooms accordingly and they will provide you. Correct? So here is what we are going to do in the floor plan stage. What we are going to do is, bigger blocks we said, right? Those we are going to be placing first. All the bigger blocks we will place first into our particular core area. Okay, into our particular area, and in that particular, after floor plan, we will try to perform as power planning, how the power needs to be distributed. Okay, how the power needs to be distributed, that we will try to do it in that particular power planning stage. Okay, in floor plan, placing the macros, or let's say like effectively utilizing the area. Next is power planning, distributing the power all over your design. Okay, all over your design area for effect more power. okay, for more power. Next is placement. So I'll go here itself, go back. So design planning, loading the design inputs, let's select loading all that particular required inputs into your block. And next is power floor plan, where creating the area. Let's make it core and die area, placing the macros, the bigger blocks, okay, placing the macros. And by making the let's say like the goal is like effectively utilizing the area. If you place one particular macro in a wrong direction, or let's say like in a wrong way, it will end up in more issues. Well, then again you have to come back to this particular floor plan stage and you have to revert back. So next is power planning. In this particular power planning, you will be majorly focusing on distributing the power with less IR drop. Okay, distributing the power with less IR drop is the power planning. And next is placement stage. In placement stage, so we have the remaining standard cells, right? Okay, we have remaining standard cells. So those particular standard cells will be placed here. Okay, placement means placing the standard cells inside the core area. For better, based on better timing, power and area. Clear? Is it clear so far for everyone? Bhavesh, I will answer your question. As I went through that flow, I have not answered your question. I have observed your question. Once it is done, I'll explain that also. So layout design or analog design will be coming under the similar category. It's just like analog layout designing. Few will be stating it as, and few will be saying it as only layout design. So based on the level also, you will be changing the coding work information. Okay, now coming back to CTS. So let's get back. CTS means clock tree synthesis. Okay, clock tree synthesis. So in this particular stage, we are making sure that each and every sequential circuit will receive the clock with less waiting time. Okay, clock tree is built. Clock tree is built and making sure all the sequential cells receive the clock with less skew. Okay, so it's when I say orally, right, it looks like simple terminologies why we need to worry a lot. But what happens is, okay, what happens is the building of that particular clock tree is sometimes very complex. Okay, it's very complex. So that means what it will lead to do is like manual way of creating that particular clock tree. In certain requirements, you have to build it manually. That means like not purely manually, automized. So semi-automized. You will give some instructions, based on that instructions, the tool has to perform it. Okay, next, routing. So in this particular routing, all the nets will be physically routed. That means the wires will be created in the routing stage. Is it clear so far for everyone? Any questions? Any confusion so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now moving to the next step. Okay, moving to the next step. So this is the, when sir was telling, right, PNR. So you will be focusing on this placement, CTS, routing. So when they say that you are, uh, let's say like you are a PD owner, that means you are going to do complete flow. Don't worry, it's like everything is automized, but the fixes are very critical. You have to analyze very thoroughly and then you have to do it. I'm not frightening you. The let's say like each and every command, or let's say like the placing, everything will be done automatically. But how that particular placing needs to be done for my better results is what your major focus should be. So please learn that a lot. Okay. If you're seeing any violation, try to fix that and then only move forward. Or let's say like learn how to fix it, try it, and then you move forward. Okay, right. Now, coming back to this particular concept, sign off stage. So here completes the PD perspective. In this particular sign off stage, okay, in this particular sign off stage, what we will be handling is before manufacturing, if there are any issues after PD and before manufacturing, if there are any issues, we will try to fix it. Can I move forward? Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. So physical verification. So coming to that, I'm not sure who has asked it because it's been a long chat. So now physical verification means we are going to be performing checks on the routed, let's say like on that particular wires. If there are any violations, we are going to be performing checks on that. Okay, so PV means that checks done on the physical routed nets. So next is STA. STA means timing checks on the complete design, timing checks and fixes. So this fixes whatever we are telling, right? We are telling that as ECOs. So engineering change order, what was there in the previously, we are modifying it based on the fixes and we are providing it back to that particular design. So that is why we are telling that as ECO. So similarly, PV checks done and its fixes metal ECOs. Okay, functional ECO. If you want to implement more functionality in that particular design, you will be telling that as functional ECO. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So next is tape out. That is like all my fixes has been done. It's been freezed and you can proceed to manufacturing. So tape out is like just a final check of all before giving it to manufacturing. So tape out and then manufacturing. And then after manufacturing also, there might be small issues. A cell can get damaged, or let's say like there will be a shape got disordered. All that we will try to do in this particular post silicon validation. Again, we will try to test the functionality of that particular chip in that particular post silicon validation and then only provide it to the customer. Okay, clear so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when we are going to the course, right, advanced level I'm talking, you will be majorly focusing first is like on this particular PD prospect. Okay, where you will be doing theoretical and practical parallelly, and after that you will be performing some checks, PV, STA. You will perform ECO, timing ECOs, and later on you will try to perform this particular synthesis also. If you are working good, okay, you might get that particular information.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other questions you guys want to ask? You can go ahead because I have done all that particular demo prospect.
Sir, sir, hi, sir. This is Kirot, sir. Difference between physical design and analog design, sir.
Sorry, difference between
Physical design and analog design, sir.
okay, physical design means you are going to be working on a complete design. So when I'm telling a complete design means whether you're working on a perfectly camera module or let's say like a complete circuit design. It's not a small circuit, complete circuit design. When you're doing it, bigger circuits, then you can tell that as a PD. And when you're telling about analog design, you're going to be working on the analog circuits. So for example, like gates, first is like gates. And there will be also some information like analog macros. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any questions? If no questions, I'm done for today. And we can be meet up back in the advanced sessions.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great
Thank
day.
you, sir.
Sorry, someone was asking a question, or is it done? Okay, guys. Bye.